Hey, what's happening? Hey, listen, don't adjust your TV set because it's not Friday night. It's not the Quagmire.
All right.
The girls aren't doing JT, so it's guys' night out. All right,
Yep.
guys are here.
Right on.
The guys here, unless Sandy wants to come on. Sandy wants to come on, then the guys and the girls will be here. So we got the crew of the men. All right, there's obviously Stumpus with us. Uncle Cal decided to join us tonight. That's awesome.
Yes, it is.
Back from a short hiatus, Pussy Whipped, Gooby Outside is with us tonight.
Guys.
Oh, did I said, oh, we're live. Shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Can't let the cow out back there.
All right. Talk about balls in a jar. We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
Bird dog.
Bird dog, how are you, darling?
Young lady, would you like to join the guys tonight and be the only lady on the panel? You're more than welcome.
Guaranteed to be the best looking one on here.
Yeah,
You know that there?
easily.
You know that you're more than welcome to come on here, sweetheart. You are always welcome. All right. So for last, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, on that other chat on Friday, we won't get into, I don't want to shout it out. That other chat on Friday night that I do.
Yeah.
We've been missing somebody.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Where's Groove? And no groove. And I'm like, really?
Well,
What the hell's going on?
thought we done pissed you off or something, dude. You know?
No, you know what happened? Stump?
Yeah, lady.
Remember when you were in school
Come on, let me have it.
and that girl in the corner liked you? And you stopped hanging out with your friends. You stopped go, killing fucking bullfrogs and doing whatever you Southerners do. Right? Well, that's what I figured he went,
Oh, God.
So, but anyway, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
Indeed. Happy to have you back for
Welcome
tonight,
back.
at least.
Good to be
Norm, if you're still with us, you have a link, Norm. Bird Dog, I don't know about that, really. All right, let's do it. Let's do a little runny down here and see who's been in and who hasn't been in and all that stuff. Time in the line. Norm was in tonight. He was first. Great to have you, Norm, as always. And like I just said 3 seconds ago, you do have a link.
Right on. Awesome, dude.
Drivers and choking on a popcorn.
Hold on, Mike. Before you go any further with that, correct me if I'm wrong. On Norm's channel, Time on the Line is actually no more. He has a different channel now, correct?
Yeah, we did that last night, but you weren't listening.
Well, I was saying you just referred to him as Time on the Line, and that
Because
channel's
that's what
not
his
there.
that's because that's what he's at in this chat room right now.
Okay, my mistake.
He's
I
gonna
thought he'd
phase
done
it out.
away with that channel altogether already.
No, yeah, he's going to phase it
misunderstanding.
out within a few things.
Okay.
All right. So, like I said, back by popular demand is the ever PW'd Groovy Outside.
guys.
Driver Balls in here with us.
Hey, folks.
Sandy's Passions. 2 nights in a row.
Welcome,
Welcome.
sweet lady, right there.
Yeah.
See that? There's a chat up, so you know what that means. Prepping to endorse here. Prepping to endorse.
Yep.
How the hell are you, my friend? Uncle Kyle's obviously in here with us. The ever quiet, ever knowledgeable Bird Dog, 1227. How are you, beautiful? Good to see you. Stevie B. What up? Good to see you. Double K. Car Carrier. What's up, my friend? Ronnie Brown. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. SKS. Hugo. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
All right, got that out of the way.
Is that it? I didn't miss anybody, right? Yeah, I don't think I did.
think so.
Okay. I think I got everybody. Did Bird Dog answer me? Did she want to come in?
Well, I just sent her a link in case that's what I was
Okay, that's fine.
preoccupied with.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you
Because
very
I
much.
saw where she said great, so I didn't. I took that as a yes.
All right, no, that's
what I
fine.
was trying to figure out.
That's fine. So, if you're watching the Quagmire last night, it ended without me thanking anybody. Without, you know why?
What happened?
I was telling Mr. Driver, and I was telling Stevie this morning, and last night, I should say. My laptop went to little skinny lines, all different colors, from all covering the whole screen.
Not good.
And all I could hear was like it went in my ears. You know what I mean? So I got up this morning, and a friend of mine took care of that problem for me. About 3 hours worth, 3.5 hours worth. But it got fixed nevertheless.
Yay.
Right?
Right on.
Obviously, I wouldn't be here. You know, I'd be listening to somebody else doing this on their channel on my phone. Yeah, so American Snipers on TNT. Okay, Bird Dog, that's fine.
Cool.
That's a good show, too.
Yes.
So yeah, so that sucked. I got nervous because the last time I saw colors across the screen, I had to go out and buy a new laptop. So I was really nervous.
So was it just a system crash or some kind of virus jumped in and messed with you or what?
He thinks it's more the virus.
Well,
But I said to him, I said, I could hear like, I was hearing, you know, like not full sentences, not even like a full word.
right.
And then I said, all of a sudden it just went, and then the color just went. And I said, the last time I got a virus, I got a text saying, hey, you got a bug in your computer, and da-da-da. Because that bug went to Facebook, and then they were like, Mike, you know, just let you know you got a thing, whatever, you know.
Right on.
But I didn't fall asleep. No, I took a little 5-minute siesta, I think, last night.
Oh, I flat out passed out. When I come to, that's when I bailed out and told y'all I was done for the night.
Yeah, so that sucked because I thought I was going to have to go out and buy a computer, another laptop or whatever. That wasn't going to be an option, to be honest with you. So, you know. So, Uncle Kyle.
Mr. DeLucia.
Wow, Mr. DeLucia. I feel
That's
honored.
impressive. He was calling you something way different than that here about 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
No shock. He is a stud now. Just look at that. See that? I need Stevie and Norm here because now it's an invasion of friggin' Southerners. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised Steve's not here.
Oh, yeah, he's letting his belly rest.
Oh,
Or waxing his legs, one or the other.
That's what, getting his bikini wax.
oh.
Oh, damn.
Shit.
But
And, in full disclosure, to the best of my knowledge, Steve does not wax his legs. It's a joke.
Well, I guess that, yeah.
Well, yeah, but
But
here lately, I've had a lot of people that just want to continually give me shit for anything I say. But yeah, I have
who in
a
the world would do that?
Join the club.
yeah.
Real Cobra Burnout, is it the real or
Probably the real.
Yeah,
Peachy's name still on here? Mm. You know when you type in the names in the chat?
for Cobra, yeah, it's the real Cobra Burnout. That's his channel name, at least.
No, I just text. I just because I don't have his phone number.
I actually don't either just yet.
So I anywho.
So what did I do?
Oh, nothing. I wanted Stump to show everybody what you're drooling over.
Oh, yes. My buddy Chad, the fat man, he sent this. Several packages actually. And I have to fess up to any of you that have not yet tried this or seen this. When you see it, mortgage your kid if you have to and get it. This is more addictive than anything on the planet, including air and water. This is flipping amazing. And I am going to be sending some to you there, Uncle Cal. Really, really good shit.
There is a parents-free weekend soon, so.
Well, you definitely keep me updated on when that goes on, and I will send it to you.
I'll send you a text tomorrow.
Outstanding. Appreciate it.
Cool.
I promise you'll probably eat the entire bag in one sitting without even realizing you've done it. God, is it good.
Well, anything with bacon's good.
This is true.
Right?
Yeah, it won't even smell up the house. So be all set.
I'll have to
Right.
try it out. I'll be looking for it.
It's really just stupid good.
Awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll give you a little tease there, Stump. I got tease today.
Oh, yeah?
So everybody here, and usually everybody out in the chat room that's here with us tonight. And by the way, hello everybody that's the silent watchers and those that'll watch later. Hope everything's cool.
Right on.
So a friend of mine on Facebook, you know when you're on Facebook, what do they call it? You are here type thing.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Yeah.
Check in.
Check in. Yeah. Check in. Right.
Yeah, there you go.
So where does she check into today? Sig Sawyer.
Oh.
I'm like, really? I'm jealous. She's got a class over there today.
Well, it's hard to say the name SIG without showing the class a SIG. So,
Right
Still
on.
class.
There you go.
Hang on.
I read an article. Dallas police have all had to turn theirs in, and they're on a hold for something about braking if you drop it.
I don't know. That sounds more like a Glock, but
No, this is the SIG. I want to say 209 or 2. What I forget the number of it.
What's that? What is that one? That's not gonna break, is it? When you drop it?
no, this has been dropped and it don't break.
Do you want to tell people what that is?
That is a SIG, SIG Pro, actually, out of the Pro Shop. 2340. Swap a barrel, and it's a 40 cal, or change the barrel out, and it's a 357 SIG. Same magazine, just different barrel. It's a 2-for-1.
And would you like to tell everybody who owns that SIG 2340?
At the moment, that would be me.
Well, it's mine.
Not true. See, what you don't know is I talked to Stumpette.
Mm-hmm.
She says, Mikey, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're feeding me a line of BS on that one.
We could always send it, down here, and that would take care of that problem.
True.
I could
All
carry.
right.
I mean,
How do I lost everybody.
I don't
No, I
know.
mean, I'm
You
still
got-
there. I didn't lose the chat. I lost you on the show.
You got to quit clicking buttons at random there, Mikey.
So the 2340.
Yep. That'd be her.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
you guys can see why I get upset, right? So now I'm watching a video today of my first love, my first actual love, manufacturer love. And that's Beretta.
Yeah.
Okay. And a good friend of YouTube's, I choose to call him my southern brother. Buddy Light is with us tonight. I'm a poet and I know it. Who wants coffee? I'll take one, buddy.
I just
Heck
made
yeah. Speaking of which, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, ditto.
So our buddy, my southern brother, known on the YouTubes as the Fat Man, did a video today. With his Beretta 92 FS. Very nice gun. But the reason I like Stumps is because it's got the interchangeable, goes from the 40 to the 357.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So that's, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, it's not a like total issue really to change the barrels out.
Yeah.
So but it is nice. It is, you guys all know SIGs are nice. Actually, they all are. Think about it, right?
Yeah, most of them are.
Right.
Right. Think about a manufacturer that, I mean, yeah, we all, like I hustle around and I tell people that Glocks are, the toy department and all that.
I wonder
But you know what? Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
I'm wondering if I'm just enjoy my Glocks because that was my first true handgun. Well, I had my old man's 22, but I mean my first carry that I got was a refurb, $325 way back in, what was it, 2000? Yeah, right at 2000, I think it was.
Odds are extremely high that yes, that is why you're satisfied with it. I'll go out on the limb and say this because most of you know I'm very anti-Glock, but deep down I truly believe that Glock is a fairly reliable weapon. Okay, they're built loose, their trigger suck, the grip angle is all wrong for me. But the reason it's wrong for me, I was raised up on 1911s. I like that thinner frame. I like the weight. And let's face it, any decent 1911 has a very nice trigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really and truly, it's my opinion, I'll put it that way, that whatever you get used to first, that's pretty much going to be your first love. Whether it's better or worse than what you come across in the future, you're always going to gravitate back to that first,
Well, I have shot some all steel guns, and the weight is a whole lot nicer when you pull that trigger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
Exactly.
you're not feeling it in the palm, and it's not giving you as big as flip.
Right.
Right.
Not flipping
But-
back at you.
I'd hate to think about carrying 3 pounds or better on my side all cotton picking day.
I don't
Just the Glock fold my pants down.
Really? What did you have for a clock?
Well, I've got my 19 or 26. So usually I'm carrying my 26.
So yeah, but I
See,
thought that I didn't think they were that heavy.
Well, they're not all that heavy, but my size and girth, I guess, I strap that belt up nice and tight, but it's still,
Right.
especially that's why I went from inside the waist to outside the waist. I haven't worn one of my inside the waist for a long time, except for maybe my ankle. But then I put the little car in there.
Right.
yeah, I'll be honest with you. I very much prefer inside the waist as opposed to outside for multiple reasons. One of which being it's actually easier to keep your jeans up. But here again, if you're going to carry, let's face it, you got to have the right belt.
Oh yeah, I finally got the right belt. It took me a few, but I got the right one now.
But what?
Yeah.
But first of all, isn't inside the waist that's got to be more uncomfortable than fucking that must suck.
You would think.
Well, it all depends on the holster too. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
I've got not a drawer full, but I got a box full back there in the closet.
Yeah. The holster thing to look at too. All right, if we're gonna get into this, let's.
And I sure like a lot of them that I've got back there.
Yeah,
I'm not
we'll do
knocking it. I'm just saying I probably wouldn't be able to wear an inside holster. There's no way.
All right, but like this right here, when I'm carrying this particular SIG,
Yep.
this side is against the inside of your jeans.
That's my SIG. But go ahead.
So this is what's actually against your body. So, and this is for a right-handed person, by the way.
Thank you.
Right. Right.
So you'll want to make sure that the left side of the firearm for a right-handed person is as smooth as possible, because any bumps, anything that protrudes, like that, is going to gouge you in your side all day long through a cheap holster.
Right.
And I don't say cheap in reference to price, but in quality of materials used to actually build it. And the holster, where it's coming in contact with your skin, there should be enough leather, horsehide, kangaroo hide, whatever material you're getting that holster in, that none of the gun can be seen from the side that'll be touching you. Because you're wanting to protect your hide from these cocking serrations, any protrusions anywhere. But you're also wanting to protect the gun from you sweating the actual oils of your body. I don't care if it's a bulimic Ethiopian in Antarctica wearing a string bikini. The body will still corrode a handgun.
Right.
So you want some barrier between you and it. And the better quality holster you get, here again, price, not the issue, the quality of the materials and the construction. The better holster you get, the better experience you're going to have with this riding on your hip all freaking day, every day.
Well, either one, my leathers or my Kydex ones, all of them have the full.
No,
I forgot what it's called, where it covers it up, where there's no metal touching me.
right to the top,
Right.
almost like a quarter inch. Because I've seen a bunch of people around town or what have you carrying or whatever, and some of them are this high out of the holster.
Yep.
Okay. Some of them are flush. Obviously not.
I guess it's called a sweat guard.
Not the hammer. Obviously not the hammer. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right across. Okay.
Right.
Then I've actually seen a couple that like the old cowboy style. It was tight to them, not tight, but it was in that style, right? And you can see it just flopping around on them.
Yeah.
And that's fine too. But I guess it's all what you prefer. So like my thing is that why don't you wear like, especially in the winter when you can get away with it, and well, you have to live in a place that has winter, but I have winter up here. Can you still wear a shoulder
Harness? Yeah.
harness?
Well, during my chauffeuring days, that's what I wore. It was a shoulder harness because I always had to have my monkey suit on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a driver, I can tell you a shoulder harness is way more convenient
comfortable.
when you're
Right.
driving all the time.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's trying to come through a door, this to shoot them in the face is a whole lot easier than hold on, let me get my shirt and my jacket and everything else out the fucking way.
Right.
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 And you don't even have to pull it.
Right.
You can just lean that way and get to that trigger.
Yep. You're probably gonna suffer some powder burns on your own, but
Hey, life.
I'd rather have powder burns and still be alive than no powder burns and dead.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All about compromise.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said all about compromise. I agree
Yeah.
with you 100%.
And I tell you, it's all about comfort with the shoulder harness too, because
God, yes.
they're just like any other holster. You got to figure out what's going to work for you.
Yep.
Right.
And believe me, that nylon crap will wear you.
That does it with knives too. Nylon sucks.
Yeah, if you're gonna run a shoulder rig, forget Uncle Mike's. Okay, bottom of the list of what's acceptable, and I don't say this to sound like I'm insulting the quality of the company, but DeSante's Leatherworks, that's about the least I would go in doing a leather shoulder rig for anything I'm gonna carry more than 15 minutes.
Now, Buddy Light says he likes the Makarov.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, it's all whatever you like.
Yep.
You know. Now that your, mine, our, however you want to put it. How about we'll just call it yours for now? Yours for now. What is that in relationship? What size wise compared to Chad's 92 FS Beretta?
Fixing to have to use this on this friggin' Chihuahua. Just to give you an idea size wise, I mean that's
Because I'm thinking the 92 FS is huge, right?
it's not really huge. I think it comes in. That's just about a 5-inch barrel, and this thing
Comes
here
in
you can
compact.
see. You can see this thing. I can just about hide it, the slide
that's
with
what I
my
mean.
hand.
Now, is that full size?
No, this is like the
Compact.
medium size. It's not the subcompact or the compact. It's right above those two, but it's not quite a full size.
I wish Beretta had an interchangeable barrel.
That
I'd
looks
probably
about
get
the
that.
same size as my 19, is what that generally looks like to me.
It's about the
Or an
same
SW40,
size.
one or the other. Right?
Say
What's
again?
that?
Or an SW40, one or the other.
Yeah.
Hey, Stump.
Yeah.
Does Beretta have interchangeable barrels?
I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't really mess with a lot of them.
I don't think they do.
But yeah, on this thing, there's your chamber, barrel, everything.
That's a long one.
Yeah.
That's almost 4 inches, isn't it?
The barrel alone comes out to 3 and some change. Actually, not quite 3 inches. Barrel length of 2 5/8, not counting the chamber. You
Yeah, but what's
include
the
the
chamber?
you include the chamber, you're getting what is that? 3 and about halfway between 5/8 and 3/4.
There you go.
I mean, it's not a huge firearm by any means.
Okay.
And naturally, while the camera's on, I'm gonna fuck up putting it back together, put the recoil spring in the wrong knots.
That's all right. You've had this kind of pot before, so.
Yeah, a few hundred freaking times.
That's why I do
Yeah, but
prefer
just recently,
a
right?
captured spring
Yeah.
myself, because I get it sticking out the nose.
So, what type of ammo does that like to eat?
This thing will eat anything you put in it.
Really?
Yes, out of the factory, it would eat damn near anything you put in it.
Cool.
Me being me, I saw fit to definitely, polish the feed ramps a little bit.
Right.
What else did I do? I think I opened to throw the chamber up just a hair, polished it some, and it will. Even now, it will chamber if you put one in the magazine, an actual empty casing. It will chamber an empty casing.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've only ever seen one person had a firearm that would do that, and if I'm not mistaken, that was John, M.I. Woodsman.
Yeah.
Yep.
He'd done it. He'd done the same thing with one of his 45s, and it'll do it. Which on a 1911, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's smooth as hell.
Oh yes.
So what do you normally run then?
On this, well, considering this is mostly something I just play with, I don't carry it all the time.
Johnny, stop. You're fucking pissing me off. Go ahead.
Well, that 1911, I always carry it.
I know. Stop. Go ahead.
But this thing here, usually, I hate to say it because I'm going to get crucified out here in the external part, which I'm glad I can't see because of this. Usually with that, a steady diet of the Winchester white box, like $30 for 100, or either just reloads.
Yep.
Something light, basic,
Right.
But as far as, if I'm going to carry a magazine full of carry ammo hollow points, I'm a creature of habit. I love the DRT stuff.
Yep. That's what mine are loaded with.
But again, it's whatever works for that gun, whatever works, whatever's cycling through clean.
Stumpy,
You know what I mean?
you wear yours as an appendix or 3 or 4 or what?
If I'm carrying just one, usually it's going to be in around the 4 o'clock inside the waist. And when I do carry both of them, one on either side, basically right above the back pocket of my jeans.
Okay. Yeah, me being left-handed, it's at about the 8:30.
Yeah.
Because 9 o'clock, and my arm keeps hitting it.
Yeah.
Any further back, then when I sit down, it's hitting in the back of the chair.
Yep. We not all that long ago, I was at a friend of mine's house. Yeah, me and the old lady had just come back from a fishing trip, and he was joking around. He asked me, what gun was I carrying, and I realized that particular afternoon, that's when it dawned on me I might have a gun problem. We had 2 people, 4 rod and reels, 3 shotguns, 3 or 4 pistols, and like 3 rifles.
Yep.
And like a minimum, I think, of like 200 rounds for each firearm. And all we done was went fishing. It dawned on me that afternoon we might have a slight gun problem.
Did
Well,
you?
at least
Anybody else? Go ahead.
we're ready for trouble.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like that old joke that goes around. This old lady gets pulled over by a cop, and the cop asks her, says, "Ma'am, do you have any weapons in the vehicle?" She says, "Yes, sir. There's a 357, right here in my purse. There's a 44 mag in the glove box. There's a 38 in the console. There's a 45 right up under the dash, and like a 12 gauge up under the seat." And the cop says, "Well, ma'am, just what are you scared of?" Well, the woman looks up and says, "Not a goddamn thing."
Right? No need for that.
Right?
Well, did any of you see that? It was an article, but it also had a video clip from the news report. And I don't actually know how long ago it was. I just saw it yesterday or today. Out in California, guy passed away or whatever, and so they went to clean out his house or whatever, I guess. And they came across over 1,200 guns.
Really?
Yeah.
And 7 tons of ammunition.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
And he wasn't wanted for anything. He was like 53 years old guy. He was just a collector of
Hey, some people collect.
a hoarder of firearms.
Somebody collects friggin'. Some people collect shoes. Other people collect firearms.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now I can say I the gun amount wasn't all that surprising because there's so many makes and models and everything else. But then again, I guess you have to have enough rounds for each one. Like I said, I try to keep 3,000 rounds for each individual one that I've got.
Yeah.
And
Now-
so if he had 1,200 and he had 3,000 rounds apiece, I don't know if that still equals 7 tons. But gee,
Well, yeah, when you think about it, 7 tons of ammunition. That's really nowhere near as much as you'd think it'd be.
14,000 pounds.
Still, think about it though. Fill up a 50 cal ammo can, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you fill it up with 45s. Hell, even go something little, 9mm. You don't exactly snatch that 50.
Squirt. Okay.
You don't exactly snatch that 50 cal can up and just walk around like it's a deck of playing cards.
Right.
Yeah, I've got one can back there that I have to get the 2-wheeler for it, and it's just an ammo can.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right,
No way,
Mikey.
I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the one thing that tickles the hell out of me. You know, you see all these YouTube Rambo motherfuckers, right? You know, this is my concealed carry. I carry, 300 rounds on me. Well, one, you're fucking retarded.
How the hell do you do that?
Two, even something small. Let's say, talk to your average soldier, okay? 300 rounds, I mean, granted, you'll burn through that in no time in a firefight, military folks.
Oh, yeah.
But pick up a 30-round mag and just hold that in your hand.
Yeah.
5-6 minutes. Now take 10 of them, strap them to your friggin' belt. Spend the day walking around like that.
Now I can see the old Sicaros or whatever that had the belts crossing over their shoulder and stuff like that.
The old
That'd
bandoliers.
be a whole lot better than a bunch of PMags.
Yeah. Hey, even with PMags. But now think about, I won't say most people because I'm not most people. Me personally, I hate a PMag. It's not because they're non-reliable, because they are. They're a great magazine. I just like old-fashioned, the metal surplus magazines. That's just me. It worked for Uncle Sam since slightly prior to Vietnam.
Yeah.
Hell, metal magazines have been around since what? World War I, World War II?
Shit, yeah.
They still work, so what the fuck's wrong with using them? Brother Steve, good to see you. Crackers and a glass of tea finally settled.
I would have been in earlier, but I popped up the YouTube live feed, and the conversation was so interesting, I didn't want to leave to go to Facebook to get my link.
Yeah, to lose out in a minute and a half. I know.
Look here, we've been here the whole time. The conversation wasn't that damn interesting.
Yeah, it was. Because I've thought about it, and the thought of using a shoulder holster sounds way more appealing to me than stuffing something down in my pants.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but and that's why I've got I guess maybe 4 different vests now. And a vest covers it up pretty good too. But I basically got the vest because I'm outside the waist carrying anymore. And there's times when I actually like to wear my shirt tucked in.
Yeah.
But then I have to wear my vest.
To me, the only drawback with a shoulder rig, and now granted, I've gotten used some of those too. It's really not a drawback, but it kind of sort of is, because a lot of your in-waist holsters now are actually made so that you can tuck your shirt in if you choose to. The firearm's concealed. All you see are the 2 little belt loops that come out over your waistband.
Yep.
Okay. But now, that's not really me. I'll carry in the waist. But, you notice you always see me with a T-shirt and an overshirt of some sort.
Right.
Lightweight cotton overshirt. Whether you're in the waist, out of the waist, or shoulder rig, it's covered. Now, back in the scooter trash days, shoulder rig, wearing a leather vest. Well, then you can actually get into problems with, if you raise your arm or you're doing something, the vest swings open. Everybody in the general area knows you're carrying.
Right.
And a vest will open up and expose that firearm a hell of a lot quicker than an overshirt that actually has a sleeve,
Yeah.
But while we're on this whole discussion here, another one that I've yet to figure out and understand. And you see people buying them left and right. They sell like freaking crack in a cheap neighborhood. Somebody explain to me why in the hell you want your spare magazine to be attached to your damn holster. If you have to reload, you've got to reholster the gun or change hands with it. Then grab that magazine, change hands again. What the fuck? Is that not the dumbest shit?
To me, only if you've got a cross draw. That would be the only reason I could see that.
I'd give you that, yeah. But let's say your strong hand is your right hand, your holster and your spare magazine are on your right side. That makes no sense to me.
Nope.
Normie.
Absolutely not.
And then you go back to the excess weight issue, that extra mag on the same spot as that gun, pulling down on your britches in one spot. Hell, at least put the magazine on the other side to try to get some balance so you don't walk in a circle because you got 20 pounds on one hip.
Right.
Brother Mangoes.
Brother G.
Hey, G.
Good dude right there.
Who you call gentlemen?
I said,
and I will say this for Brother G. Next time you got one of your chats up and you're outside there, dude, you got to go back to the old mic. I miss the fucking crickets, man. God, I miss listening to the crickets.
Right.
Ada.
Hi, daughter.
No.
Yeah, that's her.
Oh, she finally makes an appearance.
Yep. And walked in with several boxes of pizza. What the fuck?
All right.
She was at a wedding or funeral or something earlier today. I think it was a wedding.
A wedding or a funeral, a little different.
I think it was a wedding because there were balloons involved, and I don't typically remember.
A little bit close to the same, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, look who showed up.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, we're fixing to interrogate him a little bit there, Mike, if that's okay with you. I was going to ask him for his thoughts on our topic earlier. I mean, we've discussed it a little bit more about holsters, but what's your thought, dude? In the waist, out of the waist, 6 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you shoot yourself in the dick, what? This would be the part where you talk and answer the question, Steve.
Yeah, well, he's thinking about his answer. G-Man goes, how the hell are you?
He was talking to you.
PG, good to see you. Did I miss anybody else? Go ahead, Steve. Now I gave you some time to answer your question.
I thought he was talking to you. I was looking at what.
No, I'd been here all night. You haven't. You were resting.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Stump?
Oh, dear God.
Please repeat the question.
Pay attention this time, motherfucker, okay?
Right?
What are your thoughts, dude? In the waist, out of the waist, carry position, shoulder rig or not?
See, to me, with my, I got messed up shoulders, and it actually hurts to reach behind me. And that's not natural for me because I lean, of course, I've never practiced, but I lean my body and give the whole move away.
Yeah.
So if I waistband carried, it'd be right in my kidneys. And the thought of that firearm pointing at my goodies all day long, and so
yeah.
I could handle it, I think I definitely have to go with a firearm with a safety on it. But
well,
I kind of I've always leaned towards the shoulder arm.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Load.
But I'm with you. I told him that I would probably have to wear. It'd have to be outside. That would absolutely something on the inside of my, because I don't know, because I wear my not that my pants are skinny jean tight or not, but the waistline I try to, because I'm always hopping on my kid, pull your pants up, so I always have a belt on. You know what I mean? And I don't see how that's going to be comfortable whatsoever.
Yeah, you can go with the suspenders to hold them up with a belt.
Right.
I know a couple of guys that wear suspenders and a belt just to hold them up.
frankly, if I rather than going in the waistband, I just soon get a small 9mm and slip it into my back pocket and just wear a long shirt.
I don't know.
Or a
'Cause I don't sit
pocket.
down all day. And when I
I know
do,
a buddy of mine that
tool.
I know a buddy of mine that carried it. What do you call it in his sweatshirt pocket in front? And he had a deep sweatshirt pocket. He carried his gun in his sweatshirt pocket all the time.
Like
Without any kind of cover.
No cover, no sheath, no nothing.
Yeah.
No holster, no. I've seen this one on YouTube. Some lady sewed, excuse me, a like little pocket for her husband's gun. It's like a separate compartment in his sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Stephen,
Well,
I did. Give me 1 second, Stump. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I did invite Norm. So would you do me a favor? I don't know if he left, came back, or whatever. But would you text Norm and let him know that he does have an invite if he so chooses that he would like to come?
Sweet.
Thank you.
I'll send that out.
I'm sorry, Stump. Go ahead.
No, you were talking about little pockets, sewn into clothing and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
My stepdad, Pops, I hate to fess up because, he's my Pops, but I pick on him about it. So his primary carry is North American Arms, the little 22 mag Derringer.
With the collapsible handle?
No, not the collapsible handle. This one's actually got a set of rosewood scales that I shaped up and put on there for him. But he carries that thing in the watch pocket of his Wranglers.
There you go.
And believe it or not, he doesn't really practice.
Wow.
But he can get that motherfucker out and in the battery damn near as quick as anybody else can draw a full-size revolver from a holster. Which is really kind of weird.
The owner over there, he carries a Beretta Mustang, the old Beretta Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, baby.
In his back pocket. And that's how I knew that he was carrying, because I could see the top of it one day. I said, "Oh, okay." I never knew that he carried, but now I do, and so then we got talking about guns.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, it's like my boss. His new carry is that he just bought a Ruger Vaquero that had been customized for speed shooting.
Oh boy, my daughter wants one of those.
Yeah, well, that's his everyday carry now.
Nice.
I don't.
Yeah.
Is that? I don't know that gun, but
It's
I see a lot up in New Hampshire and Maine. Guys carrying wheel guns.
Yeah, well, no, the Vaquero is a wheel gun. It looks extremely similar to the old school Colt Peacemaker.
Yeah.
It's a single action, old West style revolver.
Ah, okay.
It's got the groove, the sight groove in the top. It doesn't have sights.
Yeah. And
when you were saying speed, I was thinking, man, that means it's got a light trigger. As long as
I'll be right back, y'all.
All right.
Yeah, eat that pizza. I see it being delivered.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, you.
And that brings up an interesting question.
Okay, Double K. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Uncle Carl.
How do you carry speed loaders if you carry a revolver?
Well, don't they have a belt that carries that has a specific?
Yes.
Like a little compartment for the speed loaders. I'm probably saying it wrong, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just on the opposite side of your holster on it. It's fits on your belt.
Yes.
Big enough to fit them down there.
Right.
Yeah. The only thing is, it's a little fat and bulgy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and I will say this for speed loaders and revolvers with the swing out cylinders. Yes, with practice, it's really quick, but that's got to be like the most awkward, cumbersome, fiddlesome damn thing in the world if you're trying to use it in a hurry.
Or a little stress.
Well, see, my wheel gun, the one I would carry and everything, once I find the damn holster for it, moon clips.
Yes. Now I love those because it's literally those or even the half moons, either one. You swing the cylinder out, you drop the whole damn thing, you close the cylinder, go to business, go to work.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to drop nothing.
But when you've got to pull this contraption out of a damn pouch, swing the cylinder open, eject your empties, line everything up, put it in, give it a turn while you got your thumb holding the cylinder so the cylinder don't damn rotate. And then remember, while you got pressure on it, turning it to pull it away straight so you don't yank half the damn rounds back out of the fucking cylinder.
And here I thought moon clips were a burden.
No, the moon clip is for revolvers that'll take them. You know, like a lot of your old 45 revolvers, you can actually shoot 45 ACP with the moon clips in them. That is the ultimate freaking godsend for a revolver guy.
We'll see.
You just drop the whole thing in there. If you got one case that's sticking on the trying to eject, well, guess what? All of them are coming out at one time. Everything's going to come out and hit the ground, all still contained. So if you got to police the brass to stay out of jail, everything's in one spot.
Right.
Yeah, double case it, or you can use speed strips.
Now, those things are cool. I don't have very much experience with them, but I've seen some guys use them. That's the damn way to go.
Well, my 9 has to have moon clips. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got to have it. I mean, the way the 9s are made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's an auto rim cartridge going in a revolver, you have to have the moon clip to offer the surface area to actually hold it in a chamber and keep it from sliding forward.
And that was, like I said, all brand new to me. But I wanted a revolver with my 9 because virtually everything I've got is 9s.
Yeah.
I know. Go ahead and call me pussy again.
No, I'm not going to call you a pussy.
Listen, just listen to me. I said that.
It doesn't fit stuff.
Yeah, but listen, you know what? I said this a long time ago, and I don't even own a handgun yet, okay? Well, technically I do, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Whatever, it's like a knife, right? Whatever your preference is on a knife,
right?
Whatever your preference is a knife, you know. Whatever your preference is with a gun, that's your preference.
Oh yeah, definitely 100%. And even following that on into knives. All right, every knife has a purpose. Okay, you will not use this to say cut some kind of really soft cheese and stuff like that. Right. This is a basic in the woods, skinning small game, medium game type stuff. That's what this is made for. Okay, and you get into stuff like at Camp 14. That ain't a damn skinning knife. It's a fucking machete on steroids.
Right.
You're not going to eat supper with that thing, even though it's a knife. You could cut a steak with it, but that's like weed eating your house, the grass around your house with a fucking bush hog. Things are task specific. Guns are the same way. You're not going to carry a 22 long rifle revolver to go elk hunting. Not as the primary weapon, Different guns, different calibers, they all have a specific task.
Right. And it's all what your it's all what your license are.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of machetes real quick, is anybody familiar with the Gerber Gator?
I'm not.
Yeah. Are you looking to buy one?
Well, are they worth a crap? Because they got them on sale for $14.95.
My experience with them is the steel is incredibly too freaking hard.
Brittle.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you really got to well on it to snap it, but when you go to resharpen it,
right,
short of a belt sander or like a bench grinder, you're not going to do anything with it. I've had 3 of them, and that was always the issue. I've given all 3 of them away.
Right. But if you had a $14.95 machete, would you prefer too soft of steel or too hard of steel?
Me personally, too soft so that I could resharpen it while I'm in the woods.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's surprising.
I didn't expect that answer, but it does make sense after I hear it.
Give me one sec.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Kyle, you're on the presenting. So do me a favor.
Well,
that knife
for
you just held up, hold it up again.
Utility, okay.
That's the one. Yep.
For bad guys.
That's the one. What is that?
That's a sweetie.
That's the cold steel holdout.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay,
I like
and
that one.
Yeah.
it lends itself to my particular set of skills.
Exactly.
And it is
Right on.
double edged,
Yes, it's double
so
edged.
it is considered a dagger.
To some, yes, but the length.
Yeah, a lot of people think daggers.
Some
Right.
Oh, is that not right? I thought any double-sided one was considered
I
dagger.
mean,
No,
No,
it
no.
is. Well, no, he's right. The daggers are double edged. However, what Unc's saying is what I'm saying is that in our minds, we're thinking a dagger has to have like an 8-inch blade on it
Right.
or better. That's only got a 3.5-inch blade on it.
yeah, it's a small one.
Technically, by law, it probably comes under dagger, but you know, because it's 3.5 inches long, we don't consider it a dagger. But I like that, Unc. I really do.
Yeah, that's
It's one of my,
be a good neck knife, huh? Necker.
the handle is a bit too big for that.
Really.
Yeah, I put a Nite as one of the locking clips on here and just stick it to my belt,
Right
or
on.
pocket if I have.
There you go.
Right.
But yeah, you're asking about machete, Steve. I'm kind of biased, but I will recommend this as a machete to anybody. Kershaw makes them, and you get your choice of 3 different sizes: a 10-inch, a 14-inch, or either an 18-inch blade. And it's their camp series, the Camp 10, the Camp 14, and the Camp
Yep.
18. Now, the Camp 10 has a recurved blade, kind of very similar to a kukri type shape. And Uncle Cal, I don't know if you've got it handy, but he's got a kukri that, I mean, if you don't know what a kukri is, I promise you, it's one of the most versatile knives in the woods. I mean, it's like the true multi-tool for being in the woods. It'll skin, it'll chop, it'll do food prep. It's really nice.
Yeah,
Now,
Let me see that, Uncle Cal.
This one's very, very old. I don't use it though.
right?
It's more of a family keepsake, if anything.
Yes.
So,
but you say that's more of an all-purpose knife than most of the others, huh?
Yeah. In the woods, trust me, okay? You have to understand that throughout civilization, every culture there is at some point has had a knife shape, style, or design that defined that people.
By the way,
Right?
Car Carry wants to steal that knife. Just saying.
What, this one?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it, but I've been working on that one for a long time. I picked it up in a jockey lot for $2 or either $3. Yeah, I got lucky. Anyway, but like I said, every culture at some point has been based on a knife. So you look at your current so-called primitive cultures, the machete and the kukri have been the 2 most popular edged tools on the planet for any civilization coming from that gap between banging rocks against each other to playing on laptops. You know, the kukri and a good machete have done everything from harvest and process large, medium, and small game, built fire, built shelters, you know. A machete properly sharpened should literally have at least 2, possibly 3 different grinds on the blade. You know, up here, if you're going to do all your fine, close work, you want a really, really thin grind. You know, where you can get into a lot of detailed stuff. You know, have your thumb up here and do your pushing and your guided cuts. And out here, you want a more robust service edge for cutting and splitting, possibly, you know, smaller pieces of wood, you know, fire, stuff like that. Now, the kukri, what makes it so cool because of that recurve shape, and can't believe I don't have one sitting here. Up here, that's the way it's made. It's got that short, straight edge. It works really good for all of your fine stuff. And then you've got all this weight out here on the front end and that recurve shape that just delivers a massive amount of power for chopping.
All right, now the kukris, the ones that I've seen, are a lot thicker than any of the machetes. I mean, to me, machetes were always a thin blade.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing some that are getting actually pretty wide. It's got some heft to them. But
Yeah.
Me growing up, they were always, I mean, bendable, you know.
Yeah, 1/8 spring steel, and nowadays, like the Kershaw Camp 10, 14. I would show mine off, but it's out in the yard in the truck right now. That thing's 3/8 of an inch thick at the spine.
Damn.
That's a full flat grind. It'll do everything a machete's supposed to do. It'll do what a knife is supposed to do, and it'll do what a medium-sized axe will do.
Well, I would think that the thicker, you know, with more weight, it would be able to do the you know, cutting off the limbs and the weeds and everything while you're going through a jungle or a forest or whatever else.
Yeah.
Because the thin ones, I've got 2 or 3 thin ones that I've over the years, but to me, I don't know, they're just not that functional because they're so thin.
Right. They don't have the
green weed. That's about the only thing.
Right. It doesn't have the mass when you put it in motion to effectively cut anything.
Right.
You see, when you're slashing at tall grass or bamboo or weeds, whatever, you want something that you can get the velocity going, okay? But you still need that weight or that mass when it gets there to actually do its job. You follow?
Yeah, that's why I think the kukri style would actually be a better tool than the machete.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I am a massive believer, follower, proponent, whatever you want to call it, for a kukri. To me, that is the ultimate. I think that's as close as the human race has ever come to a one-tool option for being in the woods or living primitive or anything like that.
Okay, now what do you think about the big bowie? That's 14-inch long or whatever.
I think they're pretty. It's difficult for me to see in any Bowie style knife that I've ever come across the versatility to cut a 3-inch branch and still process a squirrel if you need to in the same day. I mean, that's just my opinion,
That's why I'm a big fan of having a different style of blade on you when you go out there.
Yep.
You have to have a small blade. You have to have a chopper, and you have to have something in case of stupid people.
Yeah. That's like me, my everyday life, okay? Yeah, but he's right.
Yeah.
He's so right that there's no way to talk against what he's saying. And I actually live exactly what he's saying here. Because, this little buck neck knife is on me every day. Okay? That's my little knife. Okay? That's a vicious little bitty razor blade for small, everyday, whatever task. In my pocket, there's always either one of the Spider codes or that code 4, usually the code 4. And for the last few months, that Condor Bush tool Steve sent me has been on my hip continuously. Those 3 knives, I can pretty much take care of anything I come across that is a knife-related task. I just...
Right on.
And then, like I say, always in the truck, there's that Camp 14. So, if I need to clear a pasture, I'm good to go on that too. It's just going to take me a little while.
Car Carrier says people want to use a machete as an axe now, not just for light vegetation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know why. But that's what they do.
He's exactly right. People see a long knife, which is what a machete is, and they think, "Oh, it's a chopper." No, it ain't.
Right.
Right. If you look at a machete, actually spend the time and do a little research. They're originally a tool. That is mankind's first weed eater. It's made
Right.
to cut grass.
Well, scythe was right.
Yeah. I mean, it's along the same lines. It's a grass cutting tool. Most of them are actually named grass machetes.
Oh,
They're made for doing grass, lightweight shit that's no bigger than an average number 2 writing pencil.
Yeah.
They're not
Small,
made to
Hey,
take on
County.
a 6-inch sapling.
soft banana
Hey,
plant.
County. Right. Hey, County Line Logging. What's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Right on.
I think the heavier machete caught on when that cat and predator whacked that vine and was drinking out of the vine. Because
Yeah.
he had a real heavy spine machete, basically.
Yep.
That's a badass movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
but isn't it the Kershaw that has a sawback on their machete, or
Not that I'm aware of.
one of them's got?
The Camillus thing, the carnivore, the thing that Groovy sent me
Yeah.
a while ago, has a sawback. I have not tested that thing yet, and I want to. I just don't have the room or the material to do that on. So
I'm telling you, dude, you're going to like that thing. They're handy as hell. They're really comfortable.
Yeah, Gerber. That's Gerber that I'm thinking of. Then, yeah.
And I kind of want a better sheet for it, but whatever.
Yeah.
I have never met a decent factory sheath. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but
The only company out there I know of that makes a leather
what?
sheath, factory sheath that comes with a
The
knife
what?
that is nice will be anything by Condor.
Yep.
They actually
what?
he's talking about a factory sheath. He's never, got a hold of a knife that had a decent factory sheath.
Fucking Condor Bushlaw.
That's what I'm saying. Condor. Anything by Condor. Their factory leather sheaths,
Are awesome.
Yep.
it's actually a nice sheath.
Hell
I
yeah.
mean, it really is.
Nice. It's fucking probably the nicest sheep I ever put in my hand.
For a production sheath, yeah. I mean, it's not,
Yeah.
it's not handmade
not
custom leather, but
right. It's not custom. It's not the sheet that I got from P-NASCARs. And hey, P-NASCARs, if you're out there, hello, how are you?
right on.
I haven't seen you in a while, but if you watch this later on, or if you're listening tonight,
Yep.
how you doing? That not so with that Damascus that he sent me.
Yeah, looks kind of like that.
That
Sweet.
absolutely freaking sweet sheet.
that is
Yeah.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely sweet sheet. Yeah, that's my knife right there, right next to my gun. That's awesome. Why don't you send them? Why don't you send them both at the same time?
Maybe.
You're gonna make me drive my fat ass down there, aren't you?
Hell, that
Oh,
knife's
fuck
too
yeah.
big.
But I have to be with Ed because I don't have my license.
Well,
And apparently I'm not moving to New Hampshire, so I'm not going to be able to do all that. So,
Now, Groovy, you just made a comment that, Mikey, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to have to cut you off and tell you you're fucking retarded. There's no such thing. No, not you, Groovy. There's no such thing as a knife that's too pretty to use.
that's wrong.
That's like dating a supermodel and never touching her at all.
No, but that's like dating a supermodel. No.
And by the way,
It is-
Groovy, it's nice to see you come up for air.
but it's like, but in fairness, it's like dating a supermodel and taking her to fucking Wendy's or Burger King.
Right.
Okay, you're not going to do that either. So, you know what I mean? Like,
every knife that's ever been made
I know,
deserves to be
but
used.
I can't skin a deal with that. Can you really picture me skinning a deal with a Damascus? It's absolutely beautiful friggin' knife.
Yes.
No, I can't.
Yeah, why not?
And Pete Ascos told me to too. He's like, Mike, you got to use that sumbitch. And I'm like,
That right there.
Mhm.
That's a custom knife.
yeah,
okay?
I know what that. Well,
George made that.
You're an asshole. You are just an asshole tonight.
Yeah, really.
I will
Showing
use-
every goddamn thing.
Just keep flaunting it for us. Yeah, flaunt.
No, he's
Dude, I will chase. Dude,
Well,
I
now-
will skin any fucking thing you lay in front of me. An elk, a cow, a buffalo, a squirrel, a rabbit, anything.
But just
No
by the
fucking
looks,
problem.
just by the looks of it, though, Stump, I would use that knife all day long for just about anything I needed it for.
Right.
And you
But the ones
can
that we
because
got, the ones
this
that we got from Paul, I understand exactly what Mike's saying. You know,
it's a pretty knife. Yes,
that
it
looks
is.
like a work knife. The other one does.
Well,
Speaking
you
of
know.
fucking
speaking
sick,
of custom
Cobra.
knives, speaking
Did
of
you get yours?
custom knives,
Did you
Stalker
get yours
Steve,
today?
what the hell?
Yeah,
Huh?
where's mine?
Did you get yours today?
I didn't get anything today.
Cobra, I'm
Mike,
starting to
did you?
think Mike fed you a line of shit, dude.
What?
Yeah,
Yes,
what are
I
you
did.
up to? Like 3 knives you owe me now?
What? No, I owe you one knife, asshole.
Ow.
And I sent it.
Did it say it arrived or what?
I don't know. I have to go back and look at the thing at the tracking number.
I'll
So
have to
you're
go
not
check.
keeping track of the tracking. So therefore, basically, you're telling us you don't give a shit if Cobra ever gets his knife or not.
Fuck,
What
I
the
sent
fuck?
it. Fucking, I'm fucking done after that.
He's done. Gee, thanks. Speaking of custom knives, Stalker Steve, how's your knives coming along?
Yeah, speaking of busy.
Right on.
Yeah, how's your knives coming along, asshole? You got one for me too, don't you? Everybody's an
Dang.
Yeah,
asshole
Mike.
tonight.
Yeah, Mike. You know, yours and mine's coming next month.
Yep. It'll cover my fucking 2340 fucking SIG too. So
Maybe we should just start a knife buyers club. Just put into a kitty and just rotate the buy-in around.
yeah, my 2340 SIG has been coming since the fucking age of time.
Yeah,
Age of time.
We'll just leave that sitting there for you to admire all night, Mike.
You're an
Nice.
asshole.
Just
I'm
waiting
glad
for your
you've moved
55th
on,
birthday.
Stump, from the Spider Co.
Do what now?
I'm glad you've moved on from the Spider Co.
Right?
What do you mean moved on?
How you used to hold the Spider Co. up when
Oh yeah.
when Mike's got stolen, we'll say.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, I lost it.
Well, yeah, misplaced. There you go. However you want to code it, right?
Hooligan, how the hell are you? Great to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming in, Zach Hawkins. How are you?
Fuck yeah, the hooligan. That is a cool motherfucker.
Yeah, hey, and Sandy's back. Thank you for coming back, Sandy.
Yeah, but if you go visit him, I suggest you wear a hard hat. Could be flying objects in the
Oh,
air.
I'm definitely,
bowling balls from 60 foot in the air if they've been sent up there with tannerite. Yeah.
I'm definitely. Listen to me. I'm telling you right now. I'm already gonna plan.
Yeah.
I'm already gonna plan on going down south. So, you might as well just talk about making shit look pretty. You might as well make it look pretty. And while you're at it, you might as well think of a price for that fucker too. So, by the time I get down there,
But yeah, you keep calling me an asshole. If I really want to be an asshole about showing shit off, I've got a piece of wood here that I'm actually in the process of using as a base for a strop. I could just sit here with about, I don't know, the looks of this shelf, 60 or 70 fucking knives.
Hell yeah.
Do this shit right here and let them sit there all night long just to piss you off.
all right. So I'm done talking to you.
Have
I'm
that
gonna
as
get
your
fucking
lower
cut to
third
death.
all the way across.
Everybody out,
Right.
everybody out in the chat room. If you don't know this young man that just came in about 2 minutes ago and now has to put up with this bullshit, say hello to the real Cobra Burnout.
Oh, hi.
And K-bar user.
All
Right
right,
on. Hey, Tom.
Tommy, how are you?
Hey.
Oh,
Nice.
shit. I'm fucking everything up. Damn it.
Yeah, well, that's what you Southerners do. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, how hard is that wood stump?
Freaking very.
Yeah, apparently.
Must be oak, huh?
Not 100% sure what it is. It at one
Petrified.
point in its life, it was a cutting board, and
Yeah.
it got to the point where I don't know, man. Chlorine bleach will only clean so much shit off of something that could kill you.
Right.
And I was a little upset one day, and I don't know, sharp objects got thrown into it pretty hard, and it's split in half. So this half's gonna become a knife strop. Well, an axe strop, basically. I'm making one just for my axe.
Probably hard maple stump, by the way.
It's very possible. I know it's pretty freaking stout. But while we're on this subject, I'm going to change it because Cobra did bother to grace us with his presence. I think it's only appropriate that we go ahead and take the time. A little project he's involved in that Steve happened to be a lucky prick and win.
Recipient of.
Yeah.
I don't know if
recipient.
Steve hadn't even got the rifle yet.
Hefty donator part.
Yeah, well, hefty donator, recipient, lucky prick. They're all synonyms at this point.
I don't know. It's kind of getting towards torture now. I called him today, and that sucker still hasn't showed up.
Okay, well,
It's your FFL.
I'm sorry.
You meant to switch.
It came to 63 Greenmont Ave instead, Steve.
all right. Steve, you can cry a little bit later, but Cobra, if you would, enlighten all of those out there that don't know concerning Justin's final mission, please.
Well, actually, there's not anything going on right now, so
Well,
you just got to stay
true, but
tuned to the eBomi channel.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a very worthwhile charity. I mean,
so activeheroes.org is a charity that helps veterans out. And veterans, there's like 22 suicides a day by veterans, so it's organization, that charity that tries to help those guys out. And hashtag Justin's Final Mission was a fundraiser for that one, and the last one we did raised around $17,000. Help out that, and it all went directly to that charity. And Steve there was a recipient of, well, we don't know where the AR-10 rifle is because his FFL won't send the proper information apparently to get it received in. I don't know what's going on there. I'm out of that loop, but anyway, there was a cool
Anyway, there's an AR-10 with all the fixings lost in the mail somewhere.
No, I don't think it's shipped.
I got some of the fixings. I just ain't got the AR yet.
He got the sides. He ain't got the main dish. Maybe your FFL does have it, and he's decided to keep it himself.
He's probably having an auction. I don't know. Every time I call him, it's like, well, let me go check, and then I'm on hold for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's time to not call it, dude. It's time to, kick the door in his office, pin him up against the wall, and say, "Look, prick, I want my shit now."
Yeah, at a gun store. Okay.
If you're a pussy, call me. I'll come up here and do it for you.
Yeah, next time it'd probably be easier to drive to eBomi's house and get it in person.
Dude, I'm telling you, I could have took a nice little long afternoon trip and been there.
Yeah.
Up and around the horn.
So. Yep. Yeah, just on the horizon, he's going to be doing another one, another build. I think it's going to be something involved with a rifle for a youth or something like that, trying to get the youth.
I know that'll be sweet.
Yeah, so parents out there, if you want to get involved in that. So I think that's what's coming up next. So. Yep. Other than that, just waiting to see some more Stalker Steve videos.
Tom, you know what? K-Bar user. So K-Bar user just wrote, "You all believe that I just got flagged again, but they let me back in again." Here's the thing.
What the
hell for?
Your side profile view of your icon, right from a distance, because I'm sitting, probably, I don't know, 2.5 feet away from my laptop, right? Kind of got, if I gave you an olive green hat, right? Kind of got the Fidel look going. I'm just kidding.
Jesus, Mike.
Wow. He's got the worst luck in the world when it comes to friggin' getting flagged.
He must have a couple of haters out there or something. I don't see why. He's a hell of a guy.
I know, and it's what I don't. I mean, I've told you guys this 1,000 times. I've been watching Tom for fucking ever in a week.
Yep, he's an amazing dude. Fucking dog.
Let the dogs out.
But I'm gonna go and I'm gonna tell you exactly where. Good, talk amongst yourselves. Because I can't. Oh. I can't. I can't hit. Every time I hit a button, I did a. Yeah. So Steve, as you can see, my buddy fixed my thing, my laptop.
Yeah. Did he even have a clue what the hell happened to it?
No, he brought his over and did some lie. I don't know. Look at. I'm not computer literate. Okay.
Understood.
So he's like, "Mike, did you drop it? I said, no, it was on a friggin' Google chat." in on a YouTube chat rather, and all of a sudden it started. You know, it did flicker or whatever, and I just figured it was the lights because we've been having storm. You know, thunderstorms that roll in and roll out. You know, so anywho, I says, and then all these different colors went on my friggin' laptop screen. He said, well, yeah, that's why I'm asking if you dropped it. He says, usually, sometimes if you drop it, you'll get that. I says, dude, it's sitting on this table. I'm sitting on the couch, just the way I am right now.
Right.
And he says, all right. So although I didn't get any confirmation from anybody, because usually I do, especially if it's from like Facebook or something, but he thinks I might have had some virus on it.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, wicked weird. And so he's like, I've seen it before. He says, it's nothing really. He says, you can fix it. It's not an issue.
Yeah, because it started a little bit before you fell off. You got fuzzy a couple of times. Your voice broke up a couple of times, and then blink.
What do you mean it hasn't shipped yet, fucker? When's the 7th? Oh, you know why? Because I don't have what do you call it no more. That's why.
Prime.
I keep forgetting I don't have Prime anymore.
I'm gonna have to sign back up.
It's gonna arrive Thursday or Friday.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Talking to me. All right. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you. So I'm back with it. Crypto Birdo. What's up, Crypto?
Crypto. What's up with the crypto name?
I don't know.
The new money gal.
Yeah, I watched one of those and it was like money stuff.
Money.
I know. Ronnie Brown, it was the computer looking out for your best interests, Mike. Maybe it was Ronnie. I don't know, but dude, all I know is that it took my buddy like 3.5 hours to get it back up and run the way I like it. And if you notice, it's out yet tonight, right? So, well, Steve, you would notice. Steve, you've been late, but
dang, blasting everybody tonight.
But these guys will tell you, I haven't dropped out, you know, and I haven't come in jumbled, and people aren't coming in jumbled in on me. Of course, I probably just jinxed myself, but
right. Well, I wonder if that had something to do with your mic dropping out and stuff last week.
I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was just maybe last week was on its way and was just saying, "I'm about to go shit house on you, kid."
Right.
For those that were watching last night, I'm texting Steve, going, "Dude, I just lost everything." He goes, "Huh?" I lost everything. I don't have nothing. My computer's shit.
Been there.
As long as you don't let the smoke out of the wires, it's fixable.
That's right. When the magic smoke comes out, it's all over.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, so that's taken care of.
Mine just took a shit too and had to go through all that. Yippee!
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to going through all that shit again.
Just a learning curve. Shit drives me. It looks different. It's all the same, but it looks different.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I like things to stay the same.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know. Wait. I gotta go backtrack to another conversation for a second there, because you know, Don breaks over Marblehead. I'm getting kind of old, and you know what I mean.
Well, I'm not lying.
Come to you.
Yeah. Stump.
Yes.
You're supposed to come up here in February.
Yeah.
We just to bring the fucking thing with you. That's all.
Oh, well, it'll be on my
Here's
hip.
what I would do, though. I would leave the fucking George knife at home. Because I guarantee you, I will turn that gun on you to get it off of you.
This one?
Right? Yeah, that one.
Well, what makes you think I would hand you a gun and not have another one on me?
Yeah, good point by you. But listen, come on, because that'd be just be me. Because I got this vision in my head that you're going to come and you're going to be like,
well, I'm glad you finished that sentence.
gonna be like this, Mike.
What makes you think Stump
George,
wouldn't
Mike.
hand you a gun with all the bullets loaded in backwards?
He wouldn't do that. He's my brother. He wouldn't do that to me.
Oh, right.
But
Yeah, you would.
I just hope you come.
Mhm.
Well, everything. God, you got to finish sentences better than that, Mike.
Yeah. I don't know what trip this is, but
Over and over.
wow. You guys might want to talk about this in private.
Right?
It's a fishing trip, I promise you.
Sound like everybody like that.
A fishing trip. That's what y'all calling it nowadays.
Wink,
Gotcha.
Yeah, because we ice fish.
Reach
Up
down
these
there.
ponds.
So you're gonna be making holes.
Okay,
yes,
we need a new
Nice.
topic.
Oh.
the bottom.
Says things like what, Stevie? What did I say that was wrong?
I didn't say nothing. I think it was Cobra.
Check out this head now that we're talking about stuff like that.
Right. Good job.
Yeah. That's
Have you
crazy.
seen that knife yet, Mike?
Hang on. Let me go back to the internal.
Hold on.
That was red enough. I would have almost said rosewood. Not rosewood.
Cherrywood.
Vermilion. Oh, now it's turning. It's not quite as bright.
That almost looks like the blade on our Damascus on the. That almost looks like the blade that we have on the one that Paul gave us.
Yep. But now here's where I'm going to get in a little closer so you can actually see what that was made from. Off the lighting will let that show up. Once in its life, that was a Nicholson file.
Really?
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, but can you keep those sharp though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody told me all these people making knives out of files. Yeah, they're fun and yeah, it's a good thing to do, but you can't keep them sharp.
Well, that's all about the heat treat.
Yep.
You can't just grind a file and go cutting shit with it. Well, I
Right.
mean, technically, but
If you're going to make a knife instead of a knife-shaped object, that's a term I picked up from Brother George.
there you go. A knife-shaped object. That's good.
Yes. You have to anneal the steel first. You have to soften it. Then you shape it. Then you temper it or heat treat it and temper it and normalize it. There's a lot of steps. It's not just sit there with a damn side grinder and throw a file in a freaking vise and say, oh, it's done when it looks like a knife. Because then, no, you have a piece of metal that is so insanely hard you can't do anything with it.
Right. Or if you do, it's going to chip anyhow.
Yeah. There's many, many steps involved in actually making a knife instead of a knife-shaped object.
I like that term.
Or shank, if you will.
Yeah, you get to talking with Brother George and learning from him. You pick up a lot of unique words, Georgisms, if you will. You know.
I just had some kids ring my doorbell and run off. I guess they wanted to be on my camera.
Awesome.
Nice. No HRM. I'm on 10.
Classic.
Right.
These are actually some young kids, so they're probably doing it to every house.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will show up.
Just be happy there was no flaming bag of dog shit.
That was a oh man! At least it wasn't in the middle of the night.
That looked like a little girl, too.
It was. Yeah, she probably like 6 or 7. I don't know what they're doing out at this time of night, but there was 2 of them on that camera, one in the background.
Oh, boy, would that be fun to go down to their driveway and scare the shit out of them in front of their parents.
Yeah, if I'd been up,
Video evidence.
check this
Video
out.
evidence, right?
Look what your kids are doing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
at least it
back in
wasn't
my day,
some.
We'd go
some
toilet
punk-
paper
toilet
people or whatever.
Yeah.
But we'd make sure once in a while we'd do one of our little tiny trees, so
Hmm.
the blame would be on us.
Yeah, you got to throw them off the trail.
Right.
Fun. At least it wasn't. Last time that happened, it was. Well, it's been a while now. It was like in the middle of the night, and it was. He might have been a teenager, but he's in a hoodie, all creepy like. Rang the doorbell and then ran off. And I was like, "What the hell?"
How'd he get
Little
shot?
Obama style.
Yeah.
Was that Steve that done that to you?
You would have seen the van out front.
Yeah. No, there was no van out front there.
Prepping to Endure is asking a question here out in the
In the chat.
outside chat. He says you have to anneal the spring steel too, right?
Yes.
Like a leaf spring.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
And what's that
pretty much
process like?
A hell of a lot of grinding wheels and files.
Yeah.
And what's that process like?
The process of annealing is literally getting it to damn near critical temp. Okay. Pretty much hot as you can fucking get it without it melting or losing its grain structure.
Now is
And
that
then
where
letting it cool? Yeah, and then you let it cool and naturally. Let's say you've got a forge, right? Homemade brake drum forge, whatever. Fire pit in your backyard with some PVC pipe dug in the ground, blowing straight up, old leaf blower, pack of wood charcoal fire around it. Once the metal starts glowing, let the fire die, let it sit there and cool in those ashes on its own by itself as slow and naturally as possible. At that point, the metal is annealed. It's soft, it's flexible, it's pliable, very workable. You get to the shape you want. You leave a little extra meat on it so that when you do your heat treat, you don't warp it, twist it, crack it, bend it, all that good shit. And then you do your final grinding, polishing, sharpening, all that. And somewhere in the midst of all that, there's the process of tempering and normalizing, as it's called, which is basically baking it. Different steels need different temperatures, but average somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 degrees for like an hour, and then let it cool on its own. You want to do that a few times.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of scientific grain structure stuff behind that.
Yes, and with that being said, I want to add this to that. I am not a fucking knife maker. If you're trying to make one, you're using anything I'm saying as advice or whatever, don't. Talk to a knife maker. Most all of them are very nice, very cool people that are happy as fuck to share this knowledge. Talk to a professional.
Preppin also asked, just eating cherry red and letting cool slowly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's the process of annealing is just that, getting it really hot and letting it cool slowly on its own. No oil baths, no water baths, no olive oil, no vegetable oil, anything like that. Just let Mother Nature do its thing. Get it hot as fuck and leave it alone for 24 hours.
So, Stump, you're saying you're not going to go on that show, Forged in Fire?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's a fun show to watch, by the way.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Now, I would enjoy being on that show, getting to test some of the stuff they do.
That's right. Yeah.
But I've seen a few folks on there that my initial response to the object they handed over to be judged, some of the stuff I've seen, my first response would be, what in the fuck are you even doing here?
Yeah.
There was one episode of that I seen in particular. They were tasked with making a bayonet.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
This one guy, Cobra, I shit you not, he made the most ridiculous reverse kukri thing I've ever seen in my life. Because part of this deal is, it has to be functional. So they had a rifle that had to fit. Well, it fit on there, sort of. But the problem is the blade was actually in line with the bore of the rifle.
Split the bullet when it comes out.
That's just it. He would have been shooting the spine of the knife if he'd have pulled the trigger.
That'd have been a bad day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Granted, I've seen some guys get on there, and man, they turn out true functional art, But some of these folks, you're just sitting there scratching your head like, how the fuck did you qualify to get on this show?
And some of them really screw themselves up in the process,
Oh, yeah. Which I mean, I said all that, but I'll also say this: it's not like they go into it knowing what steel they're going to be working with, or what final project they have to turn it into either.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you're a guy that's always worked, you know, say strictly 1075, 1095 carbon steel, and you get there and they give you a 5 pound block of A2 or D2 whatever tool steel, you're going to be fucking lost to start with, you know.
Yeah.
I've seen them give him coil springs.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. Boat anchors, props.
Oh.
That's kind of a fun part of the show, though. You know, here's this chunk of metal. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah.
And then they got 3 forges going. It's got to be hot as hell in there.
Oh, fuck
Right.
yeah.
People are falling out. And it's just like, wow.
Oh. Yeah, there's a reason that back in the day, the blacksmith was the toughest motherfucker in the town. You know?
Right?
That's true. That's awesome.
Well, you're banging a friggin' 3 pound sledge, 4 pound sledge all fucking day long,
In front of that heat.
making shoes and hot shoes or whatever else.
Yeah.
Everything under the sun. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's another cool one out there too. Is either a Scottish fella or an Irish fella. I'm not sure which, but he makes these giant cutting tools.
God Almighty, his name starts with an M. I can't think of it.
Is it Nick something?
Something like that. He wears that really weird fucking respirator with like the round filters that go over his shoulders and shit.
Yeah, it's all homemade.
Yeah.
That guy comes up with some shit. He'll cut a 55-gallon drum in half with the shit he builds.
Dang.
Yeah.
To test it. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. He one sword he built. The damn thing ended up being like 12, 13 foot long. It was made out of like a 1/4-inch plate. There was a tanto style to it. It had like a 2-foot handle on it.
Mhm.
And he built a helmet that went along with it. It was based off some character in a video game. The damn helmet was made out of 3/8 plate steel. Weighed like 60, 70 freaking pounds.
Right
And
on.
he's wearing the helmet and splitting tree stumps that are in his yard.
Yep.
Literally bifurcating them.
I think Prepping
Dang.
knows him. He calls that look steampunk, and he's
Yeah.
right on the money.
Hell yeah.
Now
Yeah.
come up with a name.
Haven't seen that one.
Oh, there it is.
Well, you go ahead and pronounce it because I remember it's kind of fucked up.
Mitchell Leku?
Yeah.
Mitchell Echu.
Yeah, you might want to like type that in the external or spell it out so everybody can write it down and go check him out. He's an interesting human.
Mish Lechu. Wow, that is a weird looking name.
Uh-huh.
Now,
Fantasy
this is a
weapons
YouTube
build.
channel or is this a show?
Oh, it's a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was a show also.
What's that?
It may be. I don't know. But if you would type that name in the external so folks can see it,
What's
that way
that?
they don't think we're making up some retarded shit.
Say it again.
HRM Weapons typed it in there.
Good man.
Mitch Lechu.
When he says it, he's rolling his tongue and stuff. And it sounds perfect.
Uh-huh.
I do watch that blacksmith thing on TV though. Whatever it's called, I forget what it's called.
Yeah, it was a TV. It was on Discovery. Prepping saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I can't find it.
And they had this guy. This knife will kill. He got all excited by saying it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had like 3 different guys there and judges, or if you will.
Oh, man. Welcome to the conversation, Mike.
I always know
Nice.
stuff.
Hey, you pulled a big O.
It's the headphones.
Wow.
This knife will kill you.
I tell you what, talking about blacksmiths, that'd be one guy you wouldn't want to piss off back in the day because you need a sword made by him. Yeah, if he don't like you, I'm gonna screw this guy's temper up on his sword. Break in combat. You want to be nice to that dude.
Oh,
Hell yeah. You want to know, anything he likes that's in your price range? That's what that motherfucker's getting on a regular basis,
Yeah.
I mean, I would think back in the day, you'd want to have a better friendship with the blacksmith than you would the town doctor,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Back in the day, yeah. Town doctor just bleeds you out.
Yeah.
Like, we got to get rid of the poisons out of your blood. Whoops, that dude died. I
Yeah.
don't know why. We have
Just too much
all his
poison.
blood out on the floor.
Well, Doc, how come he died from a fire ant bite? He was allergic, motherfucker.
He was allergic. By the way, do you need a haircut? Because I also do barbers. I'm also
Yeah.
a barber,
And a dentist. Don't forget that.
And the dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Come a long way.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still, if you're a convicted felon, you can't become a barber.
Oh, really?
Most
No.
states.
Because of the straight razors or what?
Well, back in the day, I think it's one of those ancient laws they need to get rid of. Back in the day, he was the barber, the surgeon, the dentist.
Yeah, so we had a lot of
hats, so to speak.
a lot of ways he could kill you, and no one would know.
Yeah.
Still ain't letting anybody gonna shave my face with a straight edge. Sorry, that's a lot of trust that I don't have for another human being.
Yeah, no joke.
Right.
Every one of them westerns, like you go in there into the barber, and that's when some bad stuff's about to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody bumps into them. There's a fight. Somebody
Yep.
bumps. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
your throat's hanging out on the fucking.
Right.
Yeah. And in case you hadn't noticed, I don't even trust myself with a razor that close to my throat. How in the fuck am I going to trust somebody else with one?
You go in there on Sunday morning, you got the shakes from drinking Saturday night. The guy's got his great throat.
Oh, come sit down with us.
Yep.
Damn bad whiskey, lost another one.
Right. I've seen that movie Sweeney Todd one time too many. I'm like Mike, ain't nobody getting near my throat with something sharp.
Dude, that one team when he was singing that Pretty Women type thing.
Right.
The guy in the chair.
But in that movie when he gets his old straight razors back and he's sitting there admiring them in the light and singing to them and shit, I can relate to that. I mean, I've had some knives that, dude, they were friends. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yes.
The guy told me a story once, a barber story. Said he had this punk in his chair and he used to shave with a straight razor. Said the punk was kind of cocky and mouthing off, so the guy took a straight razor and wrapped it up in the hot steam towels, got it scalding hot, and started mouthing off, and he took the back of that razor and ran that hot blade across the back of his neck.
God almighty.
And the kid shut right up real quick.
It's a wonder he didn't shit his fucking britches, dude.
Oh shit.
Well, the burn. Plus you can't see it.
Yeah, that's one of those times, you'd like to think you'd turn around and shoot that motherfucker, but you'd probably be too paranoid to even remember you had a gun or a knife on you.
Right. Well, that'd freeze you right in the seat if you ever felt that. You'd be afraid to move.
Yeah.
Fucking head might fall off.
Right.
I've never used a straight razor, but those that they used to call a safety razor, where you put the blade in and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, the top butterflied open.
The little, it's about this big, double sided.
Yep.
Yep. And then
that's what was used when I first started to shave.
And you can adjust it
myself a good inch or whatever the length of the blade is. When I was trying to do my sideburns, the very first time I ever shaved, man, I cut it.
Yeah.
And that's when my dad said, "Oh, well, there's settings on there, son."
Yep.
Oh, now you tell me.
Yeah.
He had it set on skin removal.
Right.
Right.
Hey, here's a little helpful hint. Anybody out there who's thinking about renovating a house or a bathroom or everything, if you got a medicine cabinet in it, an old one with a slit in the back of it,
Yeah, for the razor blade.
that's where everybody used to drop them razors.
Oh,
Yeah.
You go right down the wall and pile up from the bottom plate up.
Yep.
And trust me, I have busted out some drywall and reached my hand in there and come out with a handful of old, dirty, rusty razor blades.
Oh shit.
Did you get
Yeah.
wow.
Very few.
Uh-huh.
That's where they used to drop them, right down that slot.
You're lucky you didn't come out
Every
missing a
medicine
finger.
cabinet used to have that too. Everyone I
Mhm.
remember.
Do you were the? I guess my question is: do you think the medicine cabinets were designed? Was that the purpose of it, or it just happened to be
No, that's the
used
purpose.
for it?
That was
Yeah.
because that's where your shaving mug went and your brush and
They just figured
Mhm.
drop them in there and forget about it.
right.
If you
Yeah.
come across an old medicine cabinet with that slit and it's in really good shape, it'll have a little sticker on there where to put the razor blades.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
be real careful running that drywall.
Right.
Yeah, it's like if you're into metal detecting, and you find where an old house used to be, old, like what Steve's talking about.
Mhm.
That's usually how you figure out where the bathroom was. You'll go across there with the detector, and it'll start raising all kinds of hell, and you shove the shovel in there, and you just keep turning up these, prehistoric, rusty little things, and you
Blades.
finally figure out that's what they were, was old blades. Yeah.
Interesting.
Don't dig with your hands.
No.
Do you any of you remember that when razors were evolving, they had a razor that was on a spool, and on the back of the razor, when it got dull, you circled it one time, and it moved the blade around.
That sounds dangerous.
That's
It didn't
a new
last
on
too
me.
long, but
I'll say.
it was on a little spool on the inside where you couldn't see it, and sort of like a typewriter spool, that went from
Yeah.
one back to the other.
Yep.
Sounds awesome.
But it was razor sharp, just a strip of metal. That
Wow.
And I've never seen one of those.
Neither have I.
That's crazy.
Well,
My stepfather used to have that one you screw from the bottom and it opens it up.
Yeah. I've
Like the
got
one Tyler was just talking about.
I've actually got 2 or 3 of those here at the house.
Right. It don't take no effort because they weigh about a half a pound. You just set them at the top and let loose, and they go by themselves.
Yeah. Now, my grandpa had one when he changed over from the old school safety razor, like what Driver was just talking about.
Yep.
This thing it was a handle, and the top of it was kind of shaped like so. It had a groove in it. And you took these single-edged razor blades, and they slid in from the side.
Yep.
And when you wanted to put a new one in, you just lined everything up, and you push this little handle on the box, and the old blade fell out, and the new one was in it.
Yep.
And it had a little dial on it that adjusted how far out the blade actually could reach.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
I
that
have
thing had
one
a
of those.
setting. That thing had a setting on it that I shit you not. You could slice cheese with that motherfucker 1/4-inch thick if you wanted to.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bite.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I had one of those too. Back, like I said, I used to go through. I've had just about every type up until they started with the 2 and 3 blades on them.
Yeah.
mhm.
I mean, I still shave, just like you do your neck and cheeks. And
Well,
Yeah.
some people do.
Hey, is that what you're talking about right there?
hang on, I can't see you. Turn it sideways. Oh, well, that's the one that it was a double-edged one, yeah.
Yeah.
But the one that Stump was just talking about, it was a single side where you inserted the
Yeah, it had
the
like
end of it, and it
Yeah, I had
pushed
one
one out
too.
and put a new one in.
Oh yeah. Hell, that's all I ever use. It's the old safety razor.
Yeah.
This one here is not adjustable though.
Huh.
It doesn't have the numbers on it and stuff. It's older.
Yeah.
It's antique.
Yep.
I do have some with numbers on it though. Every grandpa's old ones.
Right on.
But yeah, them damn things, man, they will cut your neck.
Oh yeah.
Or any mole that happens to get in its way.
Right on.
Mhm. Yeah.
Talk about a good close shave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I bet some of them old razors are pretty collectible nowadays.
Right.
Oh yeah. Like you can get on what is the name of that site? I can't remember the name of the website, but one day I was just playing on Google and happened across it, and the old safety razors and the old cutthroat razors and stuff like that, especially old straight razors. There's a company out there. I don't know if they're still active or not, but it was called Devo or Dovo or something like that. Some of their older razors, the originals from like the mid 1800s ish. Dude, you're talking about people still paying close to $1,000 or sometimes $2,000 for those things.
Oh wow!
Yeah, if they're the right one with the right
Dang.
handle and all that stuff.
Yeah. And oddly enough, if you're into knives, you spend a lot of time sharpening knives, you're going to eventually have a massive collection of different sharpening stones and implements, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are some stones out there that are specifically made for doing razors, the old school, straight cut razor. I've seen some of those black stones, man. They look like solid glass. They're not the black Arkansas. I mean, they're way finer than that. But some of those stones, one the size of a deck of playing cards, $5-6 grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
I found one old oil stone out in my garage. I think it was out of my daddy's junk, bottom of one of his toolboxes. That thing is so fine you can't even feel a grit on it. I mean, it's slick. And I wonder if that's what that was for. It's about, I don't know, 5 inches long and about inch or two wide, though. It's pretty narrow.
Yeah, that's more than likely that's an old razor stone.
You know what?
Actually made to be used with water, not oil.
Right. He had an old safety razor in there with it.
Yep.
So I bet you it was.
More than likely, yeah. But we get down to talking about sharpening stuff. Something I learned from a very good friend of mine, old brother George. Prior to getting to know him, I was one of these guys that was convinced that a knife wasn't sharp unless you had taken it down to like 60, 70, 80,000 grit, Japanese water stones and all this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, 600 grit, that's as far as you ever need to go. And hit it on a strop, 5-6 minutes. Trust me, that's a serviceable edge that will last. It still has enough tooth to bite into anything and still cut just smooth and silky as you want it to. It's embarrassing to admit I had to learn that lesson the hard way, but yeah.
A couple hours of wasted time, you're saying?
Yeah, probably. Collectively, I've probably wasted 3-4 years just sharpening shit.
Is it possible? Is what you're saying? It's possible to make a knife too sharp, or does it get to a point where it just doesn't matter?
Both. It gets to a point where it no longer matters because you've refined the actual edge as much as you can. Right. And as far as getting one too sharp, you can go beyond mirror polish on the edge itself.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, you have no tooth left on that edge. It's like you ever had a knife that you knew was like retarded fucking sharp, and you lay a good fresh firm tomato on the cutting board, and you got the saw on that motherfucker to break through the skin. There's a chance if it's a knife is sharp, the edge is actually too damn sharp. There's not any teeth left to the edge.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting.
Oh.
I wonder if they have trouble with that with those ceramic knives.
Probably not, because the nature of ceramic, it's going to be
all the little grit.
Yeah, it's almost like a little micro serrated edge anyway.
Right.
I guess that's why, you know, you go into these big box stores like Sam's or something, and you got that guy selling you the knife that can cut the tomatoes and all that stuff. And then he goes over there and like, yeah, and then he can saw through like a nail or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
For three low prices of $19.95.
Right.
I have sat and watched these guys just to get that free little paring knife, and I've walked away before.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yep, I watched the whole thing. I need that free paring knife. All right, I'm going.
Yep.
It is fun to watch some of those demos. So there is some cool things out there, and you're like, dang, when this come out?
Yep. But you know, those guys in the grocery store you're talking about, you know, doing the little knife demos, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You really got to watch them because a lot of those guys are really good at sleight of hand. You know, like the old school, you know, magic crowd.
Yeah.
You know, you'll sit there and believe he's using one knife through the entire demonstration. And he's got that little preacher's podium box thing in front of him, you know.
Yep.
It's got the little shelf right up under. If you'll watch, and he's doing, you know, all this slicing and dicing shit or whatever, and you notice he always goes under the top shelf, the one you get to see, to grab his rag.
Huh.
Start paying close attention. The rag usually looks like an old man trying to hide his heart on from Viagra, you know, by hanging a towel on it. The rag,
You know that feeling, Steve?
you know, the rag sticks out, and if you'll pay attention, the knife's this way in his hand when he does this to wipe it off with the rag. But when the rag's gone, the knife's now this way. They're trading knives like 8-9 times during those demos, dude.
That's interesting. I'll have to look for that next. Usually here in where I'm at, they're usually at Sam's Club, where they'll pop up.
Right.
And so next time a knife guy's in there, I'm gonna watch for that.
Yeah,
But,
you'll see a lot of those guys doing it. They'll change knives during that demo 5, 6, 10 times.
I found a picture of it.
Double K said that when you polish the edge too much, it won't cut things like cordage and zip ties.
Right.
Well, since it sliced the shit out of you, though.
Yes.
That's awesome, driver.
Cut the skin.
See that little thing on that that you twisted it around one time, and it would rotate the spool and give you a new
What, baby?
a new blade.
That's cool.
Like that, it was on a spool.
That's how you
Yeah, when was this knife, or when was this razor blade out?
Well, I was probably, I don't know, 16, 17. So 50 years ago or better, somewhere in there.
So is it 60s, 60s technology?
60s, late 60s, early 70s.
Okay. I tell you what, they come up with some cool stuff in the 60s. That's what it seems like, you know?
Yeah, all that brand new high-tech kitchen stuff. And
yeah, I mean, it was, even in the 50s, like they were already, you know, the home of the future or whatever.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good ideas. They may not have the actual technical ability to make it happen, but there was a lot of good smart thinkers back then, and they weren't using these high-powered computers either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. It's like, let's draw this out old school, you know, or it was just the way they did it back then. Use slide rules, and they came up with some really cool designs, and you can tell, like, they probably didn't think much of it back then, but just seeing what Driver showed, there's some artistry. Like, that's like almost a piece of art nowadays.
Right.
Yeah.
You know. Now we just have
radar.
Back when engineers engineered where it would work properly, rather than like engineers now say, well, what else can we change?
Yeah.
We got to change something.
Now we'll just print it out of plastic and hope they, you know, will buy it for it.
Let's put the oil filter down here where they got to, you know, a motor mount before you can get the damn thing
don't
off.
get me started about freaking oil filter placements.
Oil filters, and the jackass that ever thought it was smart as an engineer to design a car where you had to take motor mounts out and loose and put a jack and a 2x4 up under the engine and rotate the engine a quarter way out of the vehicle just to change the spark plugs.
Yeah.
That dude needs to be drawn and quartered as slowly as humanly possible.
or to take an oil pan off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's companies like, it's almost like they're building components without talking to each other. It's like, oh, the engine department came up with this engine. Oh, we got to fit it in here now, and we've already committed to this. So here's how you'll do it. And you got to, take a motor mount out.
Yeah, and then another engineer has to figure out a new tool
Yeah.
to be able to do it.
Exactly.
I had a buddy of mine had a PT Cruiser. He said to change the front light bulbs, you had to take the wheel well out.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. There's components on a car that you should be able to just swap out, Now it's almost intentional nowadays. Like, let's make it so hard they got to bring it into us.
Oh, exactly.
At the dealership so we can do it.
Well, yeah, even in the truck world, I mean, driver can attest to this one too. I'm sure so can Mike. Like your newer Peterbilts. You still got the whole tilt front end for a hood. It's easy to get to stuff. New Peterbilts. Try to jump start one. You have to go through the cab and remove the passenger seat because the batteries are in a box up under the seat inside the cab.
This new hydro excavator. Exactly. Yep. I said, well, why did they put this over here on the passenger side? I said, what the? That used to be a toolbox that you had a key and you pulled open the step, and you had an area there.
Yeah.
And they said, no, that's where your batteries. And I said, what? And he said, oh, you don't get it from there. I said,
yeah.
But they've got a plug on the on the back side of it or something where that's where you jump it. It's like a plug-in.
Yeah.
Where you jump now. It's not where you use cables. Well, mechanic doesn't have that tool or that
right.
People out there in the chat room are messing with Mike here. Trying to make him think his computer froze up. Wait, can we even hear him?
Why the heck am I presented?
Because he never unclicked you, apparently.
I thought he did.
I unclicked him a long time ago.
I've been, yeah.
I made a mistake. Relax. It's all good.
Yeah.
What the heck, Mike? What did I do? Oh, all right.
At least he's one of the good-looking ones on the panel.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Someone disagree with you on that one.
No, my daughter's having a nosebleed, so I just got to make sure that it's not. So I told her just go. She's cleaning up now. I told her put some ice on it.
I hope she feels better.
So,
but the comment Josh just made, I've said this before, and I don't mind saying it again. If you have a problem with Uncle Cal, Josh, right there. One, you're a fucking dumbass, and two, I will stand up and vouch for that man in a fucking heartbeat. He's good people. If you don't like him, fuck you.
Right on.
Move on down the road.
Yep. Seek life elsewhere.
You can
well,
take
the
it
mouths
up
on
to
some of you
person
people.
and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
I get an attack cat, so good luck.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'd be way more scared to tangle with a pissed off house cat than I would a pissed off redneck.
I learned something new about rednecks. I thought it came from the South and all, but it didn't. It actually started by the coal miners up in, what was it, North or Pennsylvania or somewhere up in there. Where because they wore red bandanas when they went to go against the Union folk.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. The
I thought
derivation
it originally came from the farmers because they were, working the tills and everything else. Their head was down and they had burnt necks. Redneck.
Billy's northern.
Those are true.
And it morphed into, some hillbilly sister fucking mother screwing fucking idiot somehow. I don't know.
Dang.
That's funny. Everybody started talking about redneck. I just had a friend of mine send me a picture, and it says redneck plunger.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
12-gauge shotgun with a plunger rubber on the end of it.
Yeah,
That'll work.
that'll clean out the pipe.
Right?
Hell yeah.
One way or the other.
That's Southern engineering right there. One tool can do a lot more than just one thing.
Mhm.
Send that slug down through that pipe, it'll clean anything out.
Damn right. That motherfucker will drain now, damn it. Just pour some water now. You'll be all right.
Right out the bottom of the toilet, right through the floor, right down in the crawl space.
That's
Oh.
right.
I mean, if you're a true redneck anyway, there's just a hole there going down to a big pit anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's actually now it's more like a way of life than what you know what I mean. It's not even, you don't have to be in the South or in
Oh, yeah.
Pennsylvania to be a redneck. It's just they actually call me redneck at work
Hey,
Hold on.
because I told them I ate. I don't get this. Well, because I told them I've had squirrel quite a few times and da 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 and
Yeah.
you know because I hunt because nobody from the Mason-Dixon line north hunts. You know, we just catch all our food at the store.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, because I told them that there isn't really too much that I wouldn't eat if I shot it.
Right.
You know.
hopefully, you're shooting it, you're eating it.
So they
That's right.
they label me. They're like, "Oh, you're like a redneck." I'm like, I don't know what a redneck's like. I said, but if you're referring to that because I like to hunt and everything else, well then, yeah, Previn Dua says I'm an urban redneck.
Urban redneck.
Well, my
Maybe.
modern definition of the word redneck, and here again, this is my opinion because I'm an opinionated prick. I know that. The term redneck nowadays to me applies, or the definition should be something along the lines of a person lacking a certain amount of social grace. Okay, because rednecks, we will walk up into wherever dressed where we just came in from work, whether it's been on a piece of equipment all day or been cutting logs all day, whatever. No problem with coming from work straight to a restaurant, regardless of how nice of a fucking restaurant it is, to eat supper with your lady and your kids. It's being someone who hunts and has no what's the word I'm looking for here? I hate to say shame. Yeah, there's no, I'm sorry I've hurt your feelings. There's your feelings are hurt because I kill animals and eat them. Well, fuck you. Your mama raised a pussy. That's just it's the way life is here. We do what the fuck we do, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
That's a lot of what's, me personally, I think is wrong with the entire country now. Everybody's so worried about offending somebody else.
Oh,
Fuck
yeah.
somebody else. They don't pay my damn bills. Their opinion don't matter.
There's all these people out there that want to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah.
Get out of my business. If I'm not hurting you, this is a free country. Leave me alone.
Right. Before you start trying to fix my problems, tend to your own fucking shit.
Yep.
I like the one to do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Al Gore right there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know that picture was in my head there, Cobra. Al Gore. Dude, because he has one of what was it? His electrical bill or whatever.
Yep.
Electric bill would do 34 regular homes for a year.
Well, yeah, just like
just 1 month.
Yeah, just the heat.
1 month bill would pay 34 homes for a year.
Yeah, just the pool, just to heat his pool, is what seven average homes use for their entire house. That's just his pool.
Damn.
Yeah, you take his whole mansion, into account.
Good night, HRM.
Yeah, you can't be a hypocrite and tell us that we have to live a certain way when you don't do it yourself.
Well, you
Exactly.
can be a hypocrite.
And his new
nowadays
movie comes
because
out this
everybody's
next week or
afraid to
two.
say something.
Yeah, not to mention none of the stuff in his first movie came true. We done passed his deadlines and dates.
I wouldn't spend a nickel to go see it.
Yeah, and I'm all about like being responsible with the environment. because we live in it. This is our. It's just like, you know, I don't throw my trash down the ground. You know, simple things.
Right.
You know, I don't live like that. You know, but you don't have to be so extreme and come up with falsehoods and try to make me live a certain way when you don't even do it yourself, Al Gore. You know,
Exactly.
we're probably better stewards of the environment than he ever is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, to whom we were
And that's
referring?
just one of his houses, Cobra. And what they say, he's got 4 homes.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
Yep.
Him and Bernie Sanders.
To who are
Yeah,
we
like the
referring
picture
to?
they showed him in a Lambo.
Al Gore, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck Al Gore.
Right?
Mister, I don't have any electric bills or anything like that.
He the one who invented the internet, or was that some other
Yeah, he claims he invented the internet.
Yeah, but supposedly him.
Yeah.
I still think somebody should prison rape Al Gore with a damn running steel chainsaw with a brand new chain on it.
Right.
Nah, just make him have sex with Hillary. I think that'd be
Oh,
worse.
my
God,
God.
you're a cruel-hearted motherfucker, Steve.
Hold on, I'm dry heaving here.
Right?
Steve.
Uh,
Now here's the real question: would you rather have Hillary Clinton as president or Al Gore?
Trump.
Jeez.
I'd rather be in prison for putting a bullet in either one of them.
Oh no.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
I think with Al Gore, like, this dude may actually believe what he's saying. He's just that dumb. You know?
That's the problem. He believes his own bullshit.
Yeah.
A bunch
Hillary
of
Clinton, I don't even think Hillary Clinton believes what she's saying most of the time. But
Hey, Gary.
she's gonna lie, cheat, and steal to try to get what she wants.
Yeah.
What I saw one, was it Condoleezza Rice? No, not Condoleezza. One of the
speaking of a piece of crap.
no, the one that was the head of the DNC. They put up her suicide post already. Future suicide. You know, Hillary takes down another one.
Yeah.
No shit.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, Carr says Mikey voted for Gore. I don't care who Mikey voted for.
Nope. That goes
That's
right
your
back to
personal
what we-
business.
Yeah, that's what we was talking about a while ago.
I didn't hold a
vote.
sign for Hillary in your state, brother. You did.
Oh,
Right. Damn
I might
it.
have voted for Al Gore, which I don't remember doing. But I do have a picture of you holding up a sign for Hillary. So
is that Photoshop or is that real?
I'll send it. I'll put it on Facebook or something tomorrow. You guys will see it.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
All right.
damn. The gloves are off.
Look at this girl. This girl Hillary.
I'll tell you what, I get so tired of the politics. I try to get away from it, but it's just like you can't.
Right.
You just can't nowadays. It's always in your face.
Seems like the only one that's getting away from the shitty ass politics is Mr. Trump,
He wants to conduct business.
right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and another thing, like it's hard to know what you can believe in the news nowadays.
I don't know.
Something
If you can't
gets
believe their weather report, you can't believe nothing they say.
right.
Well, you can't believe the president because the president tells the fucking says, "Oh yeah, the Mexican president we talked and da da da." Yeah, they didn't. And the Boy Scout leader there. Yeah, I didn't talk to him. So everybody's fucking lying.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This is why the American people need. I mean, the greatest thing that ever happened was term limits for the president. The same needs to happen for Congress.
Right?
Hang on, guys.
Because
Definitely.
people that get in power, they naturally are gonna lie, cheat, steal, whatever to stay in power or make themselves look good. To get what they want, whatever. And the only way to rein that in is, we're only going to have you in office for X amount of years, and then you're gone. No more lifetime politicians. It's amazing how there's politicians that have never had a real damn job in their life. So how are they going to pass legislation for the common people?
Right.
It started out as a part-time job. That's what you did after you got done working on the farm.
Exactly.
My old man, even when I was a teenager, I don't know how many times I heard him say it, but he said every other year they should kill every other politician.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Both sides, not Democrat, Republican, Independent. Every other year, shoot every other politician.
Yeah,
I'd just be happy with some term limits on Congress.
That would do it. Term limits every other year.
I mean, some of these people have been in office so long they're senile, but yet somehow dead people keep electing them into office.
Perfect example of what you're talking about. Here in South Carolina, look at how strong Thurman set in his damn office. The last decade he was there, he couldn't even talk anymore.
Yeah, he was in his 90s, wasn't he? 97, something like that.
Yeah.
He's still sitting there saying, fuck you, this is the new rule. Motherfucker couldn't wipe his own ass for the last 30 years, but yet he's still making decisions to affect everybody else's life.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous situation.
Yeah. And don't get it wrong or twisted. I love being part of the South, but I got to agree with you on that one, dude. Get them in there, let them stay 4 or 5 years, and fuck you, you're gone, you're done, screw you, you ain't coming back.
And make a living, just
right.
Go back to work, and know you're not going to get that money for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another thing.
We'll give you up to a year to find your job back, or your started career, whatever. But your severance pay is going to be about a year, and then.
Can I get a cigarette?
And the 28th Amendment, whatever they're trying to, I'd love to see that pass. Anything that the Congress pass has to live under the same rule as the people that
Right. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like Congress, they'll pass stuff all day long for us, but I mean, it's just like the quote Affordable Health Care Act. They have provisions where they actually get paid for their health care. Their health care is covered. They're down to a different system. It's outrageous. California does the same thing. All their politicians they vote in all this gun control stuff, but they exempt themselves. Yeah. So what's wrong with that situation? It'd be nice if people in America would wake up and like, no, if you're going to make us do it, you better be doing it yourself or we're going to vote you out type of thing.
Right. Is that why that female cat's been quiet lately?
Yeah. God, the camera shoot. Yeah.
Are those new pets or food for the snake?
Yeah, these are new pets. This chick we've known for years. She called the old lady up and said, kind of got this situation, and these 2 kittens and their mama was the situation, and I'm an asshole, but I like animals and old people and kids, so they came here, they were going to the pound, which is pretty much a death sentence, and I just couldn't see that shit happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
A little kitten ain't never bothered to hurt nobody. Why should it get executed? Because it's the owner of its mother was a dumb, irresponsible fucking prick,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
everybody needs a couple of barn cats.
That's right.
Yeah, I wish we could let cats run around here. I'm inside the city limits, so they're pretty hardcore. Like, you can't have your cat run around the neighborhood. It's so you're gonna have your cat locked up inside all damn day?
Yeah.
Cats are like perfect for keeping mice and all kinds of critters out of your homes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you think about it. This is one of Mother Nature's absolute most perfect predators.
Excuse me, but I want to welcome the lady on board. Well, she bailed.
Oh, she dropped.
No way.
What the hell?
Bird
Right again, Bird.
There she is again.
There she is.
All
All
right.
right.
Yay.
Quiet, beautiful.
Dog.
Touchdown.
All right.
Nice.
Hey, darling.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening.
So nice to see you.
BD.
Good to see you guys.
Oh, it's
Awesome.
awesome to see
Am
you,
I
darling.
lucky or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the group of guys.
Yeah, all the guys are lucky.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I think some states got a law against this.
Definitely in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all continue on.
So what's going on, Bird?
You got to fill us in. I haven't seen you, or we haven't seen you in a while.
How you been?
Yeah, it's been a coon's age, babe.
I know you started a new channel. Tell us about it.
Oh, do y'all really want to hear about this now?
Well, yeah.
Well, heck yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, in general, I appreciate that, no doubt. It's been a great experience. I was just over on another chat checking out. I wasn't on it, but I was just watching and listening for other people's, 2 cents, but I'm bumped on cryptocurrency. And it's very exciting. So somebody had a giveaway and I won $20 in Litecoin. That was pretty cool.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's really an interesting thing. So I'm happy. I've been conservative about it, and I'm pleased to see that what I had hoped happened would happen, and I'm making money on it. And again, I don't want to hijack this chat now. We can talk off air later, but anyway, it's a very interesting thing, and I think of you guys as my friends, and anybody out there listening, seriously, if you have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to ask me. So.
Well, first, I just want to know, is crypto, does that take in the whole gambit of Bitcoin and the others that they're all called? So it's
That's
just
right.
grouped in under crypto?
That's exactly right. And
it can only be spent on the net.
Well, they've made some strides in that, driver, and that's what has convinced me to be able to use the product, right? It is a product. And so to use the product, you got to be able to buy US dollars easily with it and then cash out your Bitcoin, which, is the equivalent to if before the euro was involved, you could get pesos and francs and other types of currency. And so it's a similar type of thinking, that you're exchanging one currency for another. And currently the US dollar stays pretty steady. Most currencies are pegged to the US dollar. So you can't buy US dollars and expect for them to go up to the equivalent of $1.50 or $2. You have to get another currency that's worth more than the dollar. So
Okay,
that's where you're going with that.
Is it just basically a trading type thing? Or, I mean, if I wanted to go spend some on eBay or Amazon, you can go buy product from sites?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm sorry, that's what you were asking me, right? Yeah, you can use your PayPal. Now, that's one PayPal card that is linked to the Bitcoin world, and you can cash out directly to your PayPal card. You can also use different Visa offerings. Visa has a couple of different cards that some are newer than others, like BitPay, BITPAY. Those allow you to send US dollars in to an account that can exchange, which is basically what that is. Again, it's going to the window to exchange your dollars for Bitcoin. And then when you're using that, or you've earned more Bitcoin, you've made profits that are in the Bitcoin currency, then driver, when you're ready to, you can either purchase in Bitcoin, because a lot of vendors do sell in Bitcoin today. They'll accept it, being in the United States even, or around the world. We're kind of slow to the party. They've been doing this on the Western Hemisphere for quite a while, meaning China over, keep going west, not us particularly, but we are starting to see that it's become more popular with banks and other exchanges like NASDAQ. Gwyneth Paltrow was someone who has touted it recently, and it's, I want to say, more mainstream, but you can also take your profits from a Bitcoin area and buy gold or silver directly with your Bitcoin. You don't even have to lose money in an exchange, you know, which
So it
isn't
fluctuates
much.
with the economy, just like your dollar does, or the euro, or the you know, Canadian. So is it like a daily thing? Like, you know, when I'd go to Canada and exchange my American money for Canadian, some days I might get 50 cents more, you know, for $10, and other times I'd lose 50 cents. You know, it works the same way.
That's exactly right, driver.
Okay.
And you
So
know, I'm sorry, I was just going to say that the trajectory, you know, you can see these things when you look at a chart, right? And just kind of look at the history of something where it's been. And of course, everybody needs to use their own opinions on these things, but it's fun when we can talk about them and have other people's experiences and knowledge that are actually in that world that give you some insight as to maybe where it is going, you know, with the charts that you're looking at. And just right now, China's already up, you know, they're trading it already. And the Bitcoin itself, that token, is worth more than a bar of gold. And so to put it in context, it's getting close to being worth twice a bar of gold. It has continued to increase. So driver, like you're saying, if I exchanged, which I did, my $100, let's call it, from United States dollars, I exchanged it, guys, into the Bitcoin, which was a fraction of a Bitcoin now. True, I couldn't afford a whole Bitcoin, but I wanted to test the waters, and I put it in there. And so Bitcoin, its own value, has been increasing, just like driver spoke about. You know, if you get Canadian, what the hell are they, francs? What's the Canadian coin called?
Yes.
Loons, or what are they?
Well, they got loons and toonies.
Toonies. So toonies, right. If I was to exchange for those, you know, I'm choosing not to, because I think that there's a better growing opportunity in Bitcoin. And so that was my choice. Yep.
So this thing is basically like the stock market, but you're putting your money on where their money grows or shrinks in value, basically, right?
That is exactly a good estimate right there, Stump. If you were to stop with just buying something and holding it, or you can sell it when it gets to a high point, you're right, buy low, sell high. That's extremely conservative way. And that's one thing that I did. I started out like that. And so I made, like, you know, I'm just going to say, you know, I'm not record shattering here. I'm testing the waters to see if this was for real. So like I made $10. Okay. I made $10 in 3 days, just because I bought something and held it. And then I was able to take myself to the next stop, which was a little bit of a level investment, that I loaned somebody some money, and I had a interest rate on my loan. And so therefore the amount of money is a variable, again, you know, depending on what you're comfortable with loaning somebody, but I'm loaning it out of my Bitcoin. And so I don't have a whole lot, but again, it was my $100 converted into Bitcoin. I loaned it out. And so I've gotten $25 on that loan. And because of daily compounding interest, you know, you could do just that with a treasury bond.
Okay.
But the treasury bond doesn't allow you to do one more thing, which is what I am doing, which is to reinvest my daily profit. So I've gotten the 1% I earned on my $100 that I lent out, $1, right?
Well,
so if you add the $1 then to my $100, the next day, tomorrow, I'll have $101 now that I'm loaning out. And so I'll be getting compounding interest on a new amount of my deposit. So, you know, that's how that's growing.
But now you're calling a Bitcoin, and you said your $100 bought in towards a Bitcoin. So if $100 won't buy, what is a full Bitcoin, and what are the denominations under it? Like the nickel, dime, quarter, a dollar bill, fives, tens. So what is a Bitcoin? Is it like a 1,000? You know, you said you bought into a Bitcoin.
That's right. Currently, it is $3,201.
for a full Bitcoin.
That's right.
And any fraction of that, does it have different names?
No, they don't go with it. They just call it, like you said, a fraction of. And so
Okay.
I've got a fraction of a Bitcoin, which, you know, we haven't been able to, as Americans, I'm going to collectively say that we as Americans haven't really gotten our hands around talking in Bitcoin yet, meaning, you know, to call something's value handily or easily enough to know what we mean when we say portion of a Bitcoin, just like we are here tonight. We're learning about it, you know, but
Right.
from a casual conversation, it's easier for me to say that I've got $100 worth of Bitcoin.
Okay.
And because we have learned that a Bitcoin is, you know, $3,200, and it's been going up. You know, Friday when I came home, it was $2,800, and we were stoked that that had occurred. And so then last night was really exciting historical night, frankly, that Bitcoin continued to go and break another barrier, and it continues up. You know, so I have to know that a lot of us have waited a long time to start investing, and this is a point in time that is an interesting, and I'm going to call it a revolution in currency, and something that a lot of us probably don't really like the thought of losing paper money, but I do believe that there will come a day when digital money will take over, you know.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
so for the, you know, individual, it's just something that you can, again, perhaps being open-minded doesn't mean that you have to get on board. That doesn't have to be it at all. You don't have to start doing an investment like this not to be open-minded. You could be open-minded and just learn about it, you know. But it's something that I have to say, man, I feel bad if I wasn't to tell you guys, and I've been telling you, I'm not pestering you on my other channel to see if you're interested. You know, check out this week. Follow me some more on my other channel there, Crypto Bird Dog.
I appreciate you filling me in, because like I said, I've been a little curious about it because it's been around for at least a half a dozen years or so now. But I said I thought it was just a fad, but it seems like it keeps growing. So I'll be watching your channel and seeing if I can figure anything out. But
Yeah.
thank you for enlightening us on that.
People out in the
And
chat room are
sorry,
asking.
I filled up. Go ahead, Cobra.
I was just gonna say, like, Prepping to Endure was asking about how the Bitcoin, how this stuff, you know, works, and I have a rudimentary understanding of it because there's like a limited amount of Bitcoins that have to be, quote, mined by servers, and as more are mined, it gets harder and harder. So it takes more servers, more money, more time to mine them, and that's why this thing has, you know, that's why the value is going up basically, and that's my rudimentary understanding. There is a limited number of Bitcoins out there, and it's a virtual currency that looks like it's going to stick around as far as I can tell.
And you call it mining, sort of just like we base everything on the gold.
Yeah,
That's true. That's a good analogy for mining. You know, there is the real sense of mining, and Cobra really quickly was awesome to say, because there are 21 million coins that have been created, and that is a true supply and demand. You know, when nobody like Janet Yellen comes along, right, and prints more coins, or decides to change the poker game. If you're playing Texas Hold'em and somebody wants to buy in, well, that ruins the whole game, right? So it inflates or deflates the pot, and it brings somebody else in that can take your money. If you're trying to win a poker game, you are looking to get your opponents out and take all the chips. So that's not exactly how the Bitcoin can work, but it's because it is based on a true supply number that you can actually, with a mathematical supply, you can keep track of, again, in real time. That's this global currency, you know. And again, it's truly, it's now a currency. It's a token technically, but a lot of the countries, 11 countries, do accept Bitcoin now. So that's, you know, changing as time goes on also. I think that the internet is become the biggest invention in our lifetimes. And we all know that. The internet has given us the ability to exchange information. That's the key word, is information. With one person to another person throughout the world, you can exchange information or data from person to person, P2P. So the advent of digital currency allows a person to exchange to another person directly value, actual value, whether it's again, what we're usually thinking of as a US dollar. It's not. It's actual valuable, tangible value that you can change from one person to another. So you've cut out the middleman, you've cut out the banks. That's, you know, something that is worthwhile.
The almighty dollar.
Yeah, there's the scary part is like digital currency can easily, you know, go away.
I would think if something crashed there.
That's what, you know, and people are scared of it. But if you think about it, I mean, like, I don't see my paychecks. They're digitally deposited into my bank. I use my debit card for everything. You know, it's almost like a hassle nowadays. Like, what, I got to get cash out of the ATM for this? So,
Right.
you know, I never hardly have cash in my wallet.
Well, now see,
although, you know, I do have, you know, a little bit of silver here and there. But
I went to pay my AT&T bill, and they won't take cash anymore.
Yeah, places aren't taking cash.
And that that's just crazy. Oh man, you talk about pissed off, because I'm an old fart. I still like the greenbacks.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Yeah, there is something tangible about it, but I mean, we've been transitioned into the digital currency for longer than people probably realize. It's been happening for a long time.
So that's why now I have to pay them online.
Yeah, and that's basically what all this is. It's the next evolution of you know, the last 20, 30 years, you know.
Yeah, us old farts are going out slowly.
PG was asking about sales tax and federal tax.
Well, you know, it's less code as gambling or the stock market gains. They're considered capital gains. So you'll be paying when you take profit and have a capital gains. But the important thing I would say that has given me some comfort about FDIC backing with a couple of the companies that I'm choosing to deal with, right? So there's the exchange company that I change my dollars into Bitcoin, and that is Coinbase. There has been haters on it, but I'm here to tell you that they're a solid company. You know, again, this is me talking, whatever you want to make of that. But I will say that they are backed by FDIC. And if you're an American citizen, you'll receive Federal Depository of Insurance Corporation up to $250,000 insurance backing should your account have been hacked at the default of Coinbase.com.
Okay.
That's, you know, important. Now, if it's your fault, meaning that you left your money in your online wallet, which I do not recommend, you need to put it in your cold wallet, you know, and that's just something that's not online all the time and has the ability to have malware get to it. You then are responsible for, you know, your own types of reasonable internet safety. So that's reasonable. That is reasonable. And the ability for that company to also service Lloyd's of London Insurance is another manner that is insured their deposits in case the company was to close. So I will say that Coinbase.com has their shit together. Even if they go down, again, Lloyd's of London has their insured accounts. So we would still be refunded our money. There's no second party that has a lien on the money. It is
right. So to a degree, it's fail-safe.
you know, I always have to say again, I'm a skeptic of things, but I can't find anything at this time. And I also know that I wouldn't want to just leave my money unattended and never look at it again, because like Driver spoke of, you know, the value of currencies can go down, can go up, go down. You would want to be in touch with your investment like anything else. But I know that, my goodness, there's been a lot of money made off of the cryptocurrency. There
So
sure
Bird Dog,
has.
how's the livestock?
They're all doing good too, you know. That's kind of where I've got to raise some money, you know. So that's you know, kind of what's gotten me here.
You know what? And I think it's important to diversify in what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're kind of scared of some of the stuff like Bird Dog here is talking about, you can do a little bit, kind of diversify your investments and stuff. We invest in stocks all the time, and it's always smart to, you know, diversify and not put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. So, yeah, might be something to look good to look into.
Get your foot wet, huh?
I'm sorry, I was just reading something that Prepping wrote. He wrote earlier about when Cobra was saying, you know, you didn't carry cash, and somebody said that Driver probably goes and uses a check.
That's checks. Store. You know he does.
No, I don't have it.
That's okay.
I don't have a check.
But
checking accounts, but I don't have a check.
Come
what's
on.
Funny is that Prepping just said he gave a kid at the store that they don't know how to count money back anymore. He gave a kid $10.07 to get $2 back, and the kid was all screwed up.
Yeah,
I read that.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. I mean,
I love to do that with them, because if it weren't for the computer, they
that was like the first skill I learned when I was, you know, working a job in retail back in high school. It's like how to count money back. And I remember, you know, I did it later on to somebody, and they thought I actually gave them all their money back, and they were just like, "You gave me all my money back." I'm like, no, I didn't.
No, I just counted up to what you gave.
Go ahead and count, you know.
Right.
And I had to explain to them what it means to count money back, you know, in that type of transaction. It was just like, wow. And this person, I don't know, they should have been smart enough to figure it out, but I guess, you know, younger people they just weren't around for
I've
that.
had
type
them
of
call
stuff.
managers over, and the managers comes over and says, well, sir, you didn't need to give us this much. You gave us too much. And I said, well, I'm trying to round it out so you can give me an even amount back.
Oh my god.
You know what I say to them? I got enough shit in my pocket. I don't need more way than like 98 cents in my pocket, okay? So here, get me the dollar bills.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you know, nowadays it's so easy with modern registers. They just have to punch in whatever you give them, and you know, it'll give them the answer. You know,
exactly.
But
and have you seen them? Yeah, and they have to look at it and try to count it out of the register.
Yeah, because it's a shocker. It's like, I gotta handle this. I gotta handle this actual money.
30 cents, so they'll give you 3 dimes rather than a quarter and a nickel. Oh my god.
Yeah. Because I need to roll pennies over here for this guy, this old guy here. Freaking wrote a check and gave me 28 cents.
I once in a while I get $2 bills.
Oh, nice.
Or I'll go and get the Susan B. Anthony's, and you talk about messing them up.
Oh,
they think it's a fake $2. You know that? Hey, what the hell is it?
Real?
Because they're all nice and crisp and clean, and you know.
They all seem to be printed in 1976.
He used a $2 bill, and they accused him of being counterfeit.
Yeah.
I've had that. Seriously, I've, you know, tried a $100 bill or something, and they're always looking at you. You feel guilty when you're purchasing something. Oh my gosh.
Yep. And you know,
and if you give them an old $100 bill or an old 50, where it's not check face or anything, they.
Yep.
Where's the strip? What? See what that says on it, lady.
And you know, you hand somebody, you know, a $50 bill or whatever to pay for something. Like Bird Dog said, they're staring at it from 40 different angles, holding it up to the light and marking it with the pen. It's typically, some of us down here in the South, will joke around like, "Oh, I know it's good. I printed them this morning." Dude, people will freak the fuck out nowadays if you say something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they freak out up here when you say it, because I say it all the time.
Yeah.
No, I'm with Stump. Yeah, that joke's not funny anymore. I mean, they don't think it is. I guess down south, I don't know. Maybe we're running a little too much shine.
That's like,
yeah.
Then I actually had one girl say to me, "Sir, why did you wrinkle that money up?" I go, "What?" I says, "It's because they're new. I just got them out of the bank." She goes, "Yeah, but now you wrinkled them." I goes, "I just helped you." She goes, "What?" I goes, "I just helped you." She goes, "How did you help me?" I says, "Here," and I took the other money out of my pocket. And I says, "Can you separate those?" I says, "So you take one, wrinkle it up. Now it's not going to stick to the next one."
Yeah, that's right.
You can see the edges. You can take it off with no problem.
Nah, I just spit all over my fingers and then peel them off. They like
man.
that better.
Yeah, who wouldn't like that?
One thing I've given for wedding presents, which sounds a little strange, but this is the way I do things once in a while. I go to the bank and get like either 2s, 5s, or 10s, or all brand new bills, and I'll make a certain denomination, and I'll get some of this rubberized stuff that you put on like handles of hammers or screwdrivers or whatever, that's liquid, and you have that nice and tight, everything's perfect on it, and you put that across the top, and it holds them all together. And I put a little piece of thin cardboard on the back of it and slide it in an old checking folder. And when you open it up, you wet your finger and you peel it off, and it looks like you're, pulling out like a sticky note type thing. And people have always liked it, and they seem to be amazed. But especially you go to a restaurant and you pull this thing out and you're peeling, flip to the back and peel off a 10 or something. They look strange because it's you're peeling it out of a book.
That's awesome. That's actually a pretty cool ass idea.
Yeah,
I've done it for graduations. I've done it for weddings. 50-year anniversaries for people.
Nice.
Fucking yeah.
That
It's
is
something
cool.
that's most of them have never seen.
Right.
But I saw my dad do it to some folks, and I always thought that's great, and I've just done it.
Yeah, I might have to steal that idea, driver, to be honest with you. That's pretty cool.
It works great, like I said, and especially when you open it up and peel it out. I mean, people look.
Hell yeah.
What? And they're all in sequential numbers too.
Yeah, no, that'd be too damn cool right there.
Well, all you have to do is ask the bank for new money,
Right.
sequential, and they'll gladly do it for you.
And if I walked into my bank and asked for money out of my account, they'd probably call the law. They don't know me. They never see me. The money goes in there. Either the wife will, pick the check up, go deposit it, and she takes care of paying everything out of the accounts and all. Hell, if I was to actually sign the back of one of my checks to deposit, they'd probably call the law thinking somebody had tried to forge my damn name,
Yeah, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Steve.
You being nice.
Quick, let's get out of here.
Yeah, right.
What?
Yeah. Let's put a room.
Just be nice. All right. You know what? Here she is. All right. I made a promise to the wife that when she got home that I would cancel out the chat. So,
Yeah.
All righty.
Mikey's a good man.
Yes, he is.
because I won't be able to continue to be able to do them if I don't
Yeah.
compromise somewhere along the line.
Grounded.
All right. So listen, Cobra's gone. Now we're gonna leave. He's gonna be like, "Where the fuck did they go?" He's like, "Oh, right." He's gonna be, these fucking guys do it to me all the time.
Yeah.
We'll fucking teach him to take a break, damn it.
Cobra, thanks for coming, Stevie. Uncle Cal, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Always.
Groove,
Indeed.
I'm happy you said like 8 words tonight, Groove. You're on the rise. You're on the rise.
And by the by, if anyone wants to help me out, my GoFundMe is still going.
Right on.
Really, guys, if anyone has any spare change and wants to help me out, I'm trying to get a wheelchair accessible van. Look up my real name on GoFundMe.
Mhm.
Any amount is quite useful, and a big thank you. I mean, I hate doing this, but I have to.
No, don't hate it.
Hey.
Good for you.
Good. All right. And you have a beautiful bird dog. Thank you guys for coming on. And I will see everybody next week.
All right.
Thanks,
Be
Mike.
safe.
And
Thanks,
thank you
Mike.
everybody on the chat room for coming, obviously.
Guys, take care.
Right on. Appreciate it,
Right on.
Mikey. Y'all be good. Take care. All that sort of